Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester United against Fulham live watch-along, live stream watch-along on the United Stands on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock. You know, normally I'd be in the bath. I'd be looking forward to the NFL, which I still am, but this is a big game for Manchester United. And I tell you what, I will tell you this for free. I'm actually quite excited about this Manchester United lineup, and I didn't think that would be possible in a game like this. But I like what he's done. Remember, we spoke about this last night in the preview about putting Bruno into the midfield, allowing you to play Garnacho and Ahmad, and Garnacho does start. He deserves to start. Whatever the future's going to be, whatever these prats in charge decide they want to do, I'm absolutely glad that you've made it TBR's first time live. Lovely, lovely. No, but I'm really quite happy with that team. I think it's, you know, very, very easy to be negative as a Man United fan at the moment. I think we can all agree with that. But yeah, look, the team, I said in the preview yesterday, and I think we all agreed on it. The team sort of picks itself, doesn't it? And Amorim's just said something about Garnacho as well, which is quite interesting. But yeah, the team picks itself. Martinez, De Ligt and Maguire is our best three. We know away from home we're going to go with Mazraoui and Dalot as the fullbacks. Agate is our best midfielder. Okay, Mainoo's missed out, but that allows us to put Bruno into the midfield and play Garnacho and Ahmad. And I think that look, very interesting that Rasmus is playing up front. I actually thought it would be Xerxes. Maybe this is just pure rotation. But West Ham have just won it at the end against Villa. Can't believe it. What a win on the road. Unbelievable. Have you seen that? I've never seen anything like it. West Ham have just won it right at the end in the 8th minute of stoppage time. I didn't watch the second half. I watched the first half. Villa were all over them. Oh, I think it's offside. I think it's offside actually. But yeah, Villa are all over them. Yeah, they're miles offside, to be fair. Yeah, they're all miles offside. Not a goal. But yeah, look, I think with regards to Manchester United, the point that remains is that Garnacho and Ahmad in behind the striker is about as close as we can get to the sort of stuff that Amorim was doing at Sporting. With all due respect to Bruno, he's slow. He's not quick enough for that role. So maybe this is why. I mean, I'm never. Look, I'm not going to lie. I'm not overly. What's the words? Let me get this right. I'm not overly ecstatic with Bruno Fernandes playing in as a midfielder. I don't think that his ability to pick up runners is really important, and he can't do it. So I'm not over the moon with it, but we haven't really got anybody who's really grabbed that role yet. I think Agate's doing okay. Collier's doing okay in a more defensive role. Mainoo has done okay. I don't mind at the moment leaving a Mainoo out to put Bruno there so that we can actually have two attacking players in behind. And I think I agree with Marvin. Bruno does the role better than Kobe at the moment. That's sort of what I was trying to not say, but will say. I think that Bruno does the job better than Mainoo at the moment. So, and I really think if we're going to see the best of Amorim's system, you've got to have really quick creatives behind the striker. And I think getting Ahmad and Garnacho there is really exciting. Obviously, I'd like to see Ahmad on the right-hand side because I think that's where he does his best work. But playing away from home against Anthony Robinson, at least defensively, hasn't got to be too worried about that, and we can get more on the you know, on the attack. I actually I predicted that we'd get a draw. I'm not going to go any better than that. I'm not going to get, you know, we're still Manchester United. We're still a bad side, but I do think we can get a result tonight that's not a loss. I really do. Sebastian, thank you very much for the super chats that are coming in early doors. You can do that through the $sign, of course. We will read those out as always. I will catch up with those in a moment. We've also got a quote coming in from the manager in relation to Garnacho. We're sponsored tonight by True Classic. Your t-shirts and everything delivered to your door. Link in the description. Scan the QR code. Fantastic clothing, and we all need those under t-shirts, which I'm actually wearing today. I will be wearing it just as a t-shirt at some point, but trust me, it's too cold at the moment. Let's have a look at what was I going to have a look at? I've completely forgotten now. what was I going to do before I said that about True Classic? There was something, oh yeah, catch up on the Super Chats. Kyle Francisco, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for getting your badge in. Watching Dorgu, he's bang average, jogging around, checked out, but that mentality is a red flag. Dorgu ain't worth 40 million, bring Alvaro back, says Sacking. I was watching Lecce earlier on between the Villa game as well, and he is potential. I do like him, but he ain't worth more than 20 million quid. We are being robbed. We are being robbed. And you can't keep buying players on projected ability. So we pay 40 million euros for Dorgu because he's going to be one of the best left backs in Europe. Is he one of the best left backs in Europe? No. Is he very raw, playing in a relegation team in the Italian league? Yes. That's why he's not worth more than 20 million pounds. We've got ourselves into so many problems over the last 5 years buying projected value. Oh, Anthony Martial is going to be one of the best strikers in the world. Jadon Sancho is going to be one of the best wingers in the world. How many more times are we going to keep doing this? And look, it's not just Ineos, it's people in our fan base as well. Pay what it takes to get what we need. And how many times have we heard that? Pay what it takes to get Sancho. Pay what it takes to get these players. And we really have to stop buying projected value. You've got to pay what the price is. And Dorgu is £20 million tops. Watching him today, he's £20 million top. I can see the potential, 100%, but I'm not paying for that potential at the moment. I'll pay for the potential of somebody like a Menu or a Garnacho because they're doing it in the Premier League and you can see it. But this guy's never played in the Premier League. He's playing for a relegation side in the Italian league, which is a lot slower. So there's a lot of if, buts and maybes. And even then, 20 million still a third of what we want for Garnacho, who is a proven winger at 20 years of age in European football. Garnacho going to Chelsea for 65 million. That's a hot sauce, says CBK. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I think Amorim is making a statement by starting Garnacho that he wants to keep him and Ineos needs to back this manager. In Amorim we trust. Well, the two interesting things I would say about Garnacho that have come out today. Sam Wallace in the Telegraph basically said that Man United do want to sell Garnacho, but they won't sell him without Amorim's permission. So Amorim has basically been put into a horrible position by Ineos, where they have said you can keep him and not have any signings, or you can sell him and use the money for signings. And that's horrible. That is a horrible situation. That is not. And I saw somebody saying, well, this is the situation. If Garnacho goes, it's on Amorim. I'm like, are you listening to the ultimatum? If you want any players, you have to sell Garnacho. If you don't want any players, keep Garnacho. That's not Amorim wanting to get rid of Garnacho. That's Amorim being given an ultimatum that if you want a left back, you've got to sell Garnacho. That's not a proper decision. That's not the same as the manager saying, I don't rate this player, get rid of him at any price. This is what Amorim had to say, though. He's our player. I'm really happy with Garnacho. He's improving a lot, and I think he had a good game Thursday. He's a young kid. He recovers well. He's prepared for this game. We want to use all the talents of Garnacho to help us win. Yeah, he doesn't want to sell Garnacho. I mean, I know he doesn't want to sell Garnacho, but he might be forced to sell Garnacho. We might have to acknowledge that. Let me just mention True Classic so everybody knows what it's all about. I've got a few of my t-shirts here. And as you can see, the standard white t-shirt here. These are fantastic. They are basically a t-shirt, but they do lots of other things as well. But snug across the shoulders and chest with that bit of room around the waist. Honestly, they've made it easy to feel comfortable without looking sloppy. We all need an under t-shirt, whether you're out for a night with the lads and you've got a shirt over the top, or you're just chilling around the house, feeling a bit cool, or you're going down the gym or whatever like that. Multi-purpose t-shirts, absolutely fantastic. I'm sure you wear them as much as I do every single day. So check out trueclassic.com through the link in the description or scan the QR code. But it's not just t-shirts they do. It's activewear, joggers and shorts, moisture wicking and quick drying, perfect to kick off the new year fitness plans with accessories like underwear, socks, hats. You can kick your entire wardrobe out in one go with True Classic. Links in the video description and scan the QR code. Check that out. With True Classic. Thank you very much to them. And hopefully tonight we're going to get a Sunday True Classic. I really do hope so. But look, even if we win, we're 7 points off the... I mean, look, there's a reality bite here. There's certainly a reality bite. The league table doesn't lie, and Manchester United is 7 points off 10th place. I think we're 7 points actually off Fulham. So it is what it is. I've seen Spurs lose today, and although it's disheartening for teams like Man United and Tottenham to be down in 14th and 15th. It's where we deserve to be. As I said, we're 14th place with 26 points. Fulham are 10th with 33. That's a 7-point gap. It's big. It's really big. Owen says, instead of selling Lindelof, Casemiro or Eriksen, they're going to get rid of Garnacho. Doesn't make any sense to me, Mark. The club doesn't deserve anything, says Owen. Keep Garnacho, Glory United, says Mer. Yeah, also, just very, very quickly, brilliant video yesterday. The comments were amazing about the financial situation and why Ineos are destroying Man United with their decisions around ticket prices and sacking people and looking to sell young players. I think that's destroying Man United, in my opinion. But beyond all the talk, because this PSR, FFP, there's a lot of political conversations going on because people live up the arse of Ineos and the Glazers. The point remains, if you have any kickback from anybody who's trying to say, there's nothing Ineos can do, it's because we pay high wages. There's two principles that they can't answer. Is PSR impacted by debt repayments that we pay every year and will pay for the next few years? Yes. If we didn't have those debt repayments, could we spend more money on transfers now? Yes. So you can talk about not being good at selling, you can talk about wages, but the bottom line is most other clubs in the Premier League aren't paying interest on debts. So they've got more money to spend on transfers. We do. That's point number one, and that's the most important point, because they can't answer that. They can't spin that. Are we hindered in spending money because of PSR and paying debt repayments for the Glazers? Yes. Would we need to sell Garnacho if we weren't paying those debt repayments? No, we wouldn't. So that's very, very simple. The second thing is, are there ways Ineos can get money into this football club? Yes, there are. For example, Snapdragon said in August they'd be very interested in doing something around the sponsorship of the name of Old Trafford. You could easily get money in by Old Trafford supported by Snapdragon and put a Snapdragon logo on the side of Old Trafford. So there are things that can be done. They're the two things for me. People can argue about, what's Sir Jim supposed to do? Those two things jump out. Keep Garnacho, says Murray. If we sell Garnacho to Napoli, I'd like to take Raspadori from them. Can play cam and striker. Yeah, we're not going to do a swap deal though, DNA. Swap deal won't work. They're selling Garnacho to get money into the club because of PSR. They won't do a swap deal. Petition for Mark to take over as football director, says Nigel. I definitely think most of you would do a better job, because I think it's all right being a director and doing your qualifications, but I think the qualification that they're bad at is understanding Manchester United Football Club. You can't just sack people. You can't just take money from important charities. You can't just sell young players. There is an education in Man United that's lacking with some of the people on our board. Viva Garnacho, says MUFC. I don't sing. I'm not a bloody seal. I don't sing for my supper. We need to buy players aged 25 to 28. We need experience, says Jamie. When FSG bought Liverpool, they inherited 351 million in debt. They restructured some of it into shares. They paid off the rest in only 4 years. What the Glazers did with the buyout is a disgrace and has massively hurt the club. Singu, absolutely spot on. Just got here, Dorgu deal is annoying, says Ardash. And I think Amorim's making a statement by starting Garnacho that he wants to keep him, says JR, 100%. Sean Douglas has gifted a 5 memberships. You're a legend, Sean. In midfield, Kobe won't make it. Collier has the energy, says Sully. Look, we can have that Kobe Mainu debate. We need to talk about Kobe Mainu. Let's do a video on it this week. I'll do it this week. We'll put it out. We'll have a conversation. That's what we do. I want to do more of those sort of, club level helicopter videos like we did about PSR. I think they're important. I like the pressure that's on Mainu. A football career isn't delivered on a plate. Came from nowhere, did amazingly well, went to the England Euros, played for England. Oh, he's an amazing player. The second season syndrome, it ain't as easy. People know who you are now. They're expecting you. You've got to go up a level. I don't mind that Mainu's not in the team. It doesn't mean for 1 minute he's not good enough. It doesn't mean for 1 minute that he's a load of shit. Maybe that comes with age and experience. David Beckham, first few months, first few years. Scholes, they became legends of the club, but they didn't hit the team and suddenly, Paul Scholes is better than Gerrard. It was like, there were good games, there were bad games. There was periods where you thought Paul Scholes was going to end up at Oldham at 21. I genuinely didn't think he was going to make it, and then he did. David Martinez, welcome to Members Club. I've just finished watching your video from earlier. Was PSR actually the reason why Rashford went out drinking in Belfast, says it's CGR? I think PSR can be blamed for everything at Manchester United. It's PSR's fault that the roof is leaking, apparently. What channel is the game on, Sebastian? It's on BT, actually. I need to change channel. Could Garnacho say no to the transfer, says KX? He could do. James McGowan says, it's my 21st birthday today. Been good. Hopefully it can end with a win. What do you think the likelihood is that we win, given the lineup? Happy birthday, James, first of all. I think the likelihood of winning this game is difficult. I think if this is Man City, I think if this is Liverpool, it's a tough place to come. They're a good team, Fulham. I've said it so many times on the podcast that Fulham are the quintessential Premier League side. They're capable of beating anybody in this league, and they are capable of losing to anybody in this league. And therefore, they're a very dangerous side. I think that they're a better team than us. They're a better team than us, and if we were to get a result here tonight, I think it would be a significant result. It's probably more important that we beat FCSB on Thursday so that we get in the top 8 of the Europa League and we don't have to play a qualifier. When I look at the Premier League table, it's almost like a pre-season gig. It's about improving as a team. It's about, finding out the players that you want to build with. They are important games. They are competitive, but we are where we are. And look, it was only a week ago that Brighton beat us. They lose to Everton yesterday. So I can't make it any clearer in my mind that when we're playing these games, what I'm really looking for is progression. And you can grab, if we drew 2-2, but Rasmus scored 2 goals because we got service into the striker, I'd take that as progression. I'm looking at performance. I'm looking at the way we play. Because if we can start to play well, I don't want to grind out results anymore. I said this a few weeks ago. I don't want to go to Fulham, play shit, and grind out a draw. I'd rather we lose 3-2 in a good game and play well. Because the points for us aren't massively important at the moment, but we have got to start playing better football. Hi Mark, bringer of good luck here. Our revolution begins now, says Kyle. A bit weird, I know, but I don't make the rules. You're welcome. They need to create for the striker, says Jeremiah. I think Fulham is the quintessential Premier League side, says Parker. Sakin said that Dorgu is bang average. Kyle Francisco, thank you very much. Welcome to the members club. Bloody hell, look at the Fulham fans. They're creative. They've got bits of paper saying, come on, Fulham. Bloody hell. They're putting... they've always been intelligent. Hugh Grant FC. Famous fans of Fulham. Hugh Grant, famous for... What would you know Hugh Grant for these days? Paddington. He's just done another film. Love Actually. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Michael Jackson, I think he was hasn't he got I don't know whether it's still there. Is the statue there? Heretic, Wonka, yeah, he's done all those films as well. Is the statue of Michael Jackson still there? I haven't missed you at Super Chat, Rick. I just haven't read it yet. I haven't missed them. Fulham's famous for prostitutes. No, that's Hugh Grant, Gavin, I think. Just came home after watching Coldplay live in India. Now looking forward for United with the best win of... best day of my life. Hey, Davin, love it. I like Coldplay as well. Controversial, I know. Can you explain the graph you posted on Twitter? Don't compare us to Everton. At least they have owners who invested into the club, says KMD. Yeah, just basically our owners don't invest anything into the club. Do you think Amorim is starting Garnacho for him to stay so he tells the other clubs he's not interested and he wants to stay, says Dylan? What I will say about Garnacho, Dylan, is it's really weird for a manager to be picking a player that is so important to the club that... that 60 million, Ineos are desperate for it, and Amorim is picking Garnacho. So the message is pure and simple. It's clear. I do not want to sell him. If Garnacho goes down in the first 10 minutes with a broken ankle, he can't be sold. So, one thing I would say is that Ineos are in a difficult position because I'm sure they want to sell Garnacho, but the manager's sort of like going, look, are we going to go to war on this? I don't want him to go. Do you think he'll stay? I don't know. I really don't know. If the ultimatum to Amorim is you don't get any signings unless you sell Garnacho, I mean, that's a different question. The question people have been asking for the last few weeks is does Amorim want to sell Garnacho? Well, clearly he doesn't. He wants to keep him. But now the question is, if you want players, you need to sell him. That's a different thing. And that ultimatum and conundrum is basically, do I want a left back and another winger for Garnacho to leave, or do I stick with what I've got until the next financial year when we can buy a left back and potentially miss out on Dorgu? I don't think we can get Dorgu and keep Garnacho from what we're hearing. So we're more that you know what, we scream and shout, we dance about, but the point is, people, you know, there's people out there spinning this because they love the Glazers and Ineos. But the truth is, it probably comes down to, do you want Dorgu? And if you do, you've got to sell Garnacho. In which case, I think that's tough. I'd have to just go, no. I'm not overpaying on Dorgu and using most of my Garnacho fee on it. I'll hope that Luke Shaw can stay fit for a month, you know? Predictions for the game. I'm going 1-1, Zach. Mainu would be by far the most outcry from selling, says Robert McCormack. I think it. You might be right, but I don't. Why is that, Robert? What is it about Garnacho and Mainu that's different? They've both come through the youth setup. They're both very talented players. So what is it about Mainu? Is it, as I said before, is it because he's British? Is that what it's about? Is it because he's from Manchester? For me, it's disgusting either way. Duncan Edwards wasn't from Manchester, he's from Dudley. So Bobby Charlton was from the northeast. David Beckham was from London. So would it be worse to let David Beckham go over Ryan Giggs because he's from London? At the end of the day, a youth player for me isn't a youth player who comes from Manchester, because from the 1950s, we had young players that didn't come from Manchester. So I don't really care if you're from Dudley, you're from the northeast, or you're from Spain. You're still a young player from our youth system. So I don't differentiate. I think selling Mainu or Garnacho or Collier would be a disgrace. Hoping Garnacho playing today is a sign that the news of his imminent sale are exaggerated by the media, says Araki. Well, it's not exaggerated by the media, mate. Ineos want to sell him. They do. That's a fact. They want to sell him. They need to get money into the football club. It's not really unique to Garnacho. I think if we had an offer of 40 million for Delo, they'd like to sell him as well. They just want to get money into the football club. So it's not being exaggerated. That's the story. The question is, will it happen? I was at the Rangers game, about 20 Rangers fans in our stand, says Rick. Fair enough to them. They don't get to play against big teams very often. Speculation. Do you think Sir Jim is actually a Chelsea fan, which is why he's sending good players there, says Driss? No, I just think that's just having a bit of, frustration vented. Keep Garnacho, buy Dorgu, sell Rashi, says Reefer. Well, that's what Man United would do. Man United would do that. They literally would. Sell Rashford, keep Garnacho, and sign Dorgu. But unfortunately, nobody wants Rashford, so that can't happen. Dorgu getting pumped at home as we speak, says Harvey Specter. He's not on OnlyFans, is he? I know, Lecce playing. I don't get it. Why buy a left back when he uses wingers? It's a CSRR. Well, maybe it's because in the Premier League he's going to use fullbacks out wide. I know he did use wingers for Sporting, but maybe that's what he's decided to do. It's actually sad that I'm watching bottom of the table clashes because of the relegation reality. Do we feel we can be relegated, says Abri. You know what? The admin normally does this to wind me up. They haven't done it today. So I've got to say, fair play. And I don't know where it is. It looks like they've oh, here it is. I found it. Could Manchester United get relegated? The fact that Leicester won today and Ipswich have got Southampton next week means that Leicester are... no, we're not getting relegated. We're not getting relegated. 9 points is still the gap. 10 points is the gap. No, it's not happening. No. It won't happen. 10 points is... 10 points to a team in the bottom three is like 90 points. They're not good. No. We won't get relegated. No. 10 points is too much. Look, Liverpool are going to win the league at the top with a 9-point gap if they beat Everton. Liverpool have won the league, in my opinion, with a 9-point gap if they beat Everton. I think they've won the league anyway. And now we want to say that we're going to get relegated when we're 10 points ahead. We're lucky that the teams down in the bottom three can't get many points, but we won't get relegated. Mr. Dave says that Garnacho is contracted until 2028. He holds all the cards here. It isn't up to Ineos if he goes or not, says Mr. Dave. And maybe, yeah, but you can make somebody's life pretty shit. And also he's a young lad who might have been told you're not wanted. But Amorim's job, obviously, is to make him feel wanted, which is what he's done in the last couple of games. He's started him, which wasn't actually happening. Let me just go through the Man United subs, by the way. Something we haven't mentioned. The first team, which is on the screen for you now, you can run your eyes over. But the bench is as follows. You've got Binder. I mean, we've not even spoken about that. Rasmus up top, Binder in goal. We haven't even had time to talk about that. 4 minutes to kick off. Casemiro's there again. Probably just sending tweets. Collier, I'd expect him to get on at some point. Eriksson, Mainu. So the midfield, I mean, to be fair, you've got 4 midfielders on the bench. I mean, when was the last time, forget the quality, when was the last time we had 4 midfielders on the bench, 3 of which technically are internationals in Eriksson, Casemiro and Mainu. I know Casemiro doesn't get picked for Brazil anymore. So we've got 4 midfielders on the bench. It's not, you know, I like the idea of 4 midfielders on the bench. I don't necessarily like the profile of those 4. I like Collier and Mainu. I'd like better than Eriksson and Casemiro in the long term. Malacia is on the bench, Lindelof and Yoro, and then Xerxes. What we're massively missing there, and I think we all know it, is 4 midfielders, 2 centre-backs, a left-back and a striker. Where's the Garnacho and Ahmad replacement? We're crying out for another winger now that Antony's not there, Rashford's gone. I mean, this is another reason why you wouldn't... No, Rashford's still here, obviously, but he's not there. This is why selling Garnacho is criminal, because you look at that bench and Antony's gone, and obviously he's trying to get rid of Rashford. The only player that can come into that position is Mount, who is about as reliable as a chocolate fireguard. So we don't just need Dorgu. We actually need an attacking winger, don't we? Really, we're short of that too. So yeah. Robbo says, your Gary Neville post this morning, I don't disagree with it necessarily, but I'd still question the legitimacy of any GB News editorial, their right-wing propaganda. Robbo, I know exactly what that clip was all about. My point was, I thought it captured Gary Neville perfectly in relation to him being asked questions about things he does have an opinion on, but refusing to comment. And I think we're all very aware that, you know, part of the United Stand community were aware over the years, he has no accountability. He will only talk in circumstances where he wants to talk, where he's got a script or he's got somebody in his ear. He won't talk in a situation, like he would never speak to me or you about what Ineos are doing to Man United. He's a very successful businessman. He's a legend of Manchester United, but he will never put himself in a position where I'll put myself in a position for this community and what we've built. I will put myself in those positions with a conversation with anybody about the football club and Man United, but he won't do that. And that's why I don't think he's talking about Ineos at the moment, because I think he knows that he wants them to do well, because as we know with the government's announcement, there's a lot of money going to be swashing around Manchester and real estate. And that's the purpose of that. Your light reflects in definitely maybe. I don't really care. And Mount is as useful as sandpaper dildo, says it's CGR. Mate, some people would actually quite like a sandpaper dildo. I mean, we're not here to talk about that, but I think some people probably would. Right, we're ready to go. Another game, another match in the trenches, potentially. I'm going to go with a draw in this game. Let me know your thoughts. We're ready to go. It's Michael. Is the statue of Michael Jackson still outside? Anthony Taylor's the referee. Gone are the days where I actually cared about the referee, because we're so bad. I don't think referees can really be used as an excuse for us anymore. But we're about to start. Let me get the timer ready. Craven Cottage. Craven Points. Craving points, yes. It's 7 o'clock, Anthony. Do your job. Blow your whistle. And he's blown it. There we go. We're up and running. I didn't click the right button. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to go with a draw. But I really want to... Look, we haven't spoken, and we may as well talk about it now. We've got a goalkeeper in goal, which is not... Slow Sports, breaking news. Manchester United have got a goalkeeper in goal. What's this hipster shit? I genuinely do think that Binder should have started in goal. We haven't really had a chance to talk about it. All I'm going to say is it's a big risk. showing your faith in Onana is absolutely brilliant from the manager, but it's a big risk putting him in goal because if he makes a mistake, everyone's going to go, well, Bienda should have played in goal. Similarly, but not the same, I think Xerxes has, over the last couple of games, won the first team shirt up front with zero service. I don't think he's been dropped. I think he's been rotated. So can Rasmus, who's looked bad the last few weeks, show some sort of form? We'll have to wait and see. Come on, United, says Tom. You should get in the ring with Simple Simon, says Sheep Lane. Don't know who that is. I think this will be a really good bonding week between Amorim and Garnacho and hopefully shape both futures if Garnacho listens and proves a point. There's no retreat, no agenda. Offside there for Fulham. Anthony Taylor's the ref, says liking trash. Mark, can Rasmus get service tonight, says Jacob. I would say no. I don't think it matters who's up front. I don't think you get service at Man United. Amorim's going to struggle with these players here. The next best because he can do is become Sir Alex. He needs that level of genius to lead such a crappy team, says Red Devil. Thank you very much. And Sarvesh says, please do not normalise selling the club's assets. If Glazers sell club, land and ground to government for renovation, Glazers get all the value, they get all the facility profits, and club lose its ground. Good point, Sarvesh. Bit like we've lost our club. Mount, we've done. Hope you're well. United is heart of United. Thank you, Robbo96. Onana again. Can't stand him, says Bounty Hunter. Butterfingers. There we go. Thank you very much for your super chats. I think we've caught up on those. Thanks everyone who's getting involved. Hannah says, UTV, mate, you dropped 2 points today. I watched your first half while I was keeping an eye on Lecce, and you should have been about 3-0 up after 20 minutes. So to draw that. Putting your faith in Onana is like getting Stevie Wonder to drive you to work, says Chris the Red. Good interception by Bruno. Come on then, let's see what we're all about here. Look at Onana just booting it long to no one. That is something I despise. De Gea used to do it as well. The ball goes back to the keeper. We're in possession. And he just boots it. And it goes out for a throw-in. And Fulham are back in possession again. And possession's so important in a game. And now Fulham have possession. It's just a waste. He's meant to be a ball-playing goalkeeper. I mean, to be fair, I did see Harry Maguire saying boot it, but we paid 50 million. We got rid of a better goalkeeper for a ball-playing goalkeeper who still kicks it long. He should have, he should be ignoring that from Maguire and saying, no, I'm a ball-playing goalkeeper. He's going to get it here, I think. Right, now, play out from the back. You see, play out from the back. He was going to do it. He's going to boot it. Booted it long. Fucking idiot. He was going to pass it Delit, and then he fucking looks up and boots it forward again to nobody. Fucking hell. Do you know any update on Shaw and Mount? I think Shaw's going to be back soon, but I don't know anything about Mason Mount, to be honest with you. I've played the game, says Rick. Good for you. Have I got the stats carousel rolling round here? Yes. Garnacho being sold by United is like Barcelona pulling levers. Complete mismanagement and failure, says Chiri. Thank you, pal. Steady start. That wasn't a boot long. That was a pass to Hoyland. Mate, if that was a pass to Hoyland, it was a shit pass. Because whoever... I didn't know it was Hoyland. I thought it was Garnacho. Whoever it was, they were jumping as high as they could. And it's still... Oh, good shot by Iwobi. And Arna gets there well. People aren't grasping what it means if we sell Garnacho, says Jace. It means that youth like Collier, Martin will be sold for quick cash once they establish themselves. Yeah, it's a domino effect. Exactly. We have spoken about that. Rune says, can we stop bullying Onana? Whoever's bullying Onana in the chat, can the mods deal with it? I don't want to see any abuse or anything like that. You can say that it was a waste of money and we shouldn't have got rid of De Gea. That's not bullying. That's just fact. But there's no need for abuse. Good ball by Martinez into the channel. Here's Rasmus. Needs a bit of support. Does well in the box. Give it back to Garnacho. That's the one. Edge of the box. He's going to win a corner here. Oh, it's not. It's going to go. It's going to stay in. I like that ball from Martinez into the channel. Oh, he's giving a free kick. 4 long balls from Onana already. All given away, says Joji. 4? 4? Bloody hell. Owen Wright, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Get your badge in. Mika says, 6 minutes in and we're playing well. We're in London, aren't we? Says Ardesh. We are in London, actually. Right. I need my notepad. Need me note. I try to take notes in the match, and I'm terrible at it because I'm always reading your comments and looking up. But where we go. Ladies already 2 up against Brighton. So Stephen, well done. And look, if you're into the women's football, great stuff. I've got to be honest, I don't keep an eye on it. I mean, Man City the best, are they? I would presume. Got the most money. Go on, Agate. That's good. Go on, second ball. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky. Is Anthony Robinson for Fulham. Danger man. And that's going to be a corner. It's going to be a corner. Or did Delo keep it in? Yes, throw in. Chelsea dominate female football, apparently. There we go. Oh, my God. Oh, well done, Maguire. Little cut back from Fulham there. Hi, Mark. I don't know who those people are, Dave. Sorry. Calvin Benson, welcome to Members Club. We should get Costa from Porto for goalkeeper, says George. Well, we should do a lot of things, mate, but we're broke, so we're not paying another £50 million for a goalkeeper, are we? We're too busy overpaying for a 20-year-old left-back. How's he not given a foul on Bruno there? This referee, he really is a pillock. Bruno gets fouled. He says play on when we're under pressure on our own edge of the box when the foul was 20 metres further forward. I mean, where did he get these clowns from? The circus? Roman K, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for getting your badge in. It's a good start. Well, it's an okay start from United. I do just detect that Fulham are starting to settle down possession-wise a little bit quicker than us. Which obviously we don't want to do. We are the away team though, so, you know, little by little. Little by little. Awobi. Oh, that would have been a one. It said played on, because that could have been a foul there. Go on, Mazraoui. Go wide left. Go wide left. Oh, he can't. He should have just played it first time. Should have played it first time. All right, we've got the possession back. Go again. We're in London, aren't we? Bloody London. 50 quid a pint. I don't know whether it is 50 quid a pint. What should I order for my dinner? I had a lovely stew with dumplings earlier on. Mark, please take some... Yeah, I'm not doing drugs, dinner seat. Would you take Robinson at United, says Michael? Yes. I'll take any left back at the moment. Just joined. How are we doing? Game is not on in the US, says Waka. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, look, if we were 1-0 down, people would be going mad. The fact that it's 0-0, it's a steady first 10 minutes. It's a 50-50 game. It's been okay. Away support is so loud and proud for 7 p.m. on a Sunday, says 100T Frankie. Yeah, give a shout out to our away support. Not the best time to be travelling down to London Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Ruben should have started me in the midfield, says Toby Collier. Instead, he's got Bruno out of position. Mimo wants to know what we should have for dinner. And James says the away fans are on fire tonight. Right, Fulham are on the break here. See, Bruno doesn't have the legs in the midfield. But we should, to be fair, we should always have the cover at the back. I mean, this is a great point, actually. I would analyse it tactically like this. It's meant to be a 3-4-3. It ends up being a back five. And a back five is ultra defensive. And you're going to find it difficult to create chances when you've got a back five. When you think about Ten Hag or Ollie, it was a back four. You've always got that extra man going forward. With a back five, you haven't got it. And we are playing a back five. So it is important to remember that every time they attack, we have always got a back five. And that's not really what the Amorim system is meant to be. So when you're looking for reasons why we don't create many chances, obviously we don't create any chances anyway, but we are playing with the back five a lot of the time. Until we can get those wider players part of the attack, technically it is still a back five. Game is on Telemundo in the US, if you don't mind Spanish commentary. That was a super chat from somebody. I will let you know who in a minute. But yeah, nothing going on. Let's have a quick look at the stats in the first sort of 10 minutes or so. And as you can see, 0 shots at all, 0 corners. We haven't won a tackle apparently, neither have they. 50-50 possession, really lame game at the moment. Good hold up play by Rasmus. Mazraoui's going to lose that, and it's going to stay in as well. Fuck's sake. Go on, second ball, lay it off, first time, that's the ball, wide right. Go, attack de space, Dillit. Don't slow the game down. Don't have too many touches. Ahmad, give him a touch. No, sloppy. Dillit gets it back. NBC Sports app in the US, apparently, according to Manu. USA Network for the US, says Jonathan. It's a big place. Connor Jackson says Telemundo. Mazraoui, it's just breaking down at the moment. I think we need to play the pass a bit quicker. Louis Martinez says game is on Telemundo in the US as well. Fireheart, thanks for the super chat. Daniel Austin says, what are your thoughts on Louis Skelly, Red? Mate, there's a video on Twitter. I've done a video on That's Football. Never a red. We've got a new left back, Mazraoui. Thanks, Sir Jim, says Niall. Why don't we play Ahmad off the left-footed, says Mark. And Ladies currently second in the table, says Mark Deacon. Owen Wright, thank you. Appreciate that. Can you believe Fulham are betting favourites, says Carl? No, 100%. Of course Fulham are favourites. They're 7 points ahead of us in the league and they're better. Nice ball in behind. Good defending by Fulham. It's only 4K on USA Network, so if you can't support it, you have to watch it on Telemundo, says Icon. I didn't think I'd say Telemundo as much as I have done. Just makes me want to say Teletubby. Can you believe Fulham are betting favourites? Yes, I can, Carl. Yeah, these watch-alongs are way more fun than watching United play these days. Legends. Thank you, Ashik. Hope you're doing well. Wherever you're watching from, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Baden Johnson, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. 50,000 of you watching on a Sunday night as well. That's a foul. Sure. What the fuck is this referee on? Is he on drugs? I mean, how the fuck is that not a foul on Rasmus? Is he a fucking idiot? I mean, he wrestled him to the ground. I thought I had Netflix on, Rory's War. Bruno, come on. Stop missing 5-yard fucking passes, mate. That's a foul. He's giving it to them. Oh, this ref. This bloody ref. Another shit ref again. is absolute shite, mate. We should have had the free kick for Bruno. We should have had the free kick for Rasmus. And then we should have another free kick for Rasmus, and he finds a foul for Fulham. So with back five, one midfield in defence is enough, says Shahin. It's a scrappy game. Sorry, I just need to get rid of Mad Max. You're gone, mate. I just need to find you now. Yeah, bye-bye. I would take Wan-Bissaka back. Great crosses today, says Oki. I wouldn't. We'd be probably be getting a fine off the Premier League if we kept Wan-Bissaka. It will be on USA, not because he's crap, but because we would be well over PSR. We needed that money. Fulham on the attack at the moment. Woke up at 5 a.m. to watch this, says Benny. Can we do something? And Mark, is there any ref in the Premier League that isn't shy? Says Eddie. It is like finding a needle in a haystack. Is it on Telemundo by any chance? Says Lewis Richardson. And this is the ref Roma fans chased out of Italy, says Matt. I'm paying $25 a month to watch the Prem. I can't speak, says Ardish. And Caitlin says, why don't you just admit to everyone that you create... Okay, you're gone as well. You know what? I actually thought you did used to make decent comments, but bye-bye. What was the last United match you attended live, says John. Yeah, you're gone as well. Keep doing super chats about shit. I'll block you. We're trying to watch a game of football. I literally took my son about 2 months ago. It was on the channel. There's a video of it. Bruno throwing his hands in the air from 10 minutes in. We can see where this is going to go, says Matthew. And have you noticed since Klopp and Lampard spoke up about the amount of penalties we get, we hardly get any penalties, says Rohil. Hi, Mark. Our pressing's very poor. Unlike the Arsenal game, Fulham pressing like wild dogs, thus we playing long balls. It's an observation, says Harakish. Thank you, mate. And I'm paying... Yeah, I've done that from Ardish. Yeah, get out. And this is the ref. Is there any ref? Okay, done that one. Toby Collier says it will be on USA Network, but there's a dumb college basketball game on now, so only on Telemundo. I'm gonna block the word Telemundo in a minute. I mean, I think we realise it's on Telemundo. If you're in the States, well done. If you're watching it somewhere else, go for it. Another foul by the referee. I mean, what is it? You can literally... You can wrestle Rasmus to the floor. So it's a new PGMOL rule. He's been literally body slammed to the floor 3 times and we haven't had a free kick once. Mark Holder's just taken some night nurse. Night nurse. Lovely stuff. Mark, I'm in the Hairy Lemon. I'll have a pint for you. Hate this joke of a ref. Come on United, says Colin. I wish I was in the Hairy Lemon. I've got to the point where I'm emotionless watching, says X Gamer. And are you going to do the Super Bowl? It's a few more weeks yet. Mark's Friday Pints. Yes, I am though. Justin says, do you think we need a new left wing back? Oh, there's a bear shit in the woods. Here's Garnacho down the left-hand side. It's all very static and slow in the final third, isn't it? We're so bad. Look at this. This is such a problem. I've said this so many times. It's 3 touches and a pass again. I mean, what sort of ball's that? Oh, well done, Garnacho. It's turned late off. This is good play, Mazraoui. Where? You don't just fucking put it into somewhere. You put it to somebody. This is the bloody Premier League. That was a lovely ball by De Ligt. Lovely play by Garnacho. And I just think, Mazraoui, what are you doing? He's got time here. Lovely play by Garnacho. Mazraoui, but Mazraoui here. Look, where are you going? Who are you looking? I think he's looking for Delo, but it's the wrong pass. Yes, Justin, we do need a left wing back. Has the ref lost his common sense with his hair, says Mrs. Stone. And it's on NBC Sports app. Okay, I've done that, Stuart Walker, thank you. Yeah, I'm not doing PSR tonight, mate. There's a video on it, Abri. Thank you very much for your super chat. We ain't got time for that. Good interception by Agate. Where's the runner? He's got to go Ahmad. Ahmad tried to play it first time. Off topic, when's TUSFC coming back, says Abir. You'll be the first to know when I know. It will be back, but there's no plans for it this week. And Fulham run the break, cuts it back, crap cross. New PGMOL rule, all referees are against United, says Ardesh. No, I don't think they're against United, I just think they're shit. We should be going for Anthony Robinson, says Johan. How many pens would Klinsmann win in a season if he was playing today, says Kenneth. And there's no chance that Amorim instructs so many long balls, says Cole. David Boyd says, for my sanity, I've accepted that relegation might be the best option. And I watched Dorgu versus Inter today. 30 million is too much, says Shan. And I sweat every time Anana faces a shot on target, says Trucker Jeff. Love your work, mister, says Kjell. And Josh says, I love the channel, passionate fans, win, lose or draw, we're here for the crack. With all these PSR issues happening, says Michael, do you think it would be better for the EPL to just install a team salary cap? Peacock app in America, apparently, says Colin. What would a young Goldbridge think of this team, says Filippo? Same as an old Goldbridge. It's just not good enough, is it? Mate, he's finally given a foul on Rasmus. Fucking hell. How many more are you going to do? How many more? Incredible. I haven't seen a striker get this much bloody physicality in years. It's like watching 1970s football. So you watch... Jared, I'm not talking about rugby, sorry. I get that people think that's football and we can start talking about other sports and your favourite packet of crisps, but this is the United stand. I'm a United fan. I'm only really interested in talking about Man United, so I'm not going to wander off into your favourite top 5, supermodels or anything like that. Join me on That's Football for that sort of shit. Where do you think United will finish this season? Mate, pick a number. I don't know. I'm just living game to game. We won't be in the top 10, I don't think. Why did they just do a close-up on Amorim's shoes, says Mankinelli? Because they're twats. Mainstream is shit. Right, I'm having a break from the chat. It's sort of bringing my mood down. The questions are shit. Sorry, I'm reading the live chat and they're all saying the same. Some of these comments coming in are really crap. I'm trying to watch a game of football and they're really bad. Sorry. So I just wouldn't bother doing any for the moment because I'm not going to read them out. They're really bad. Trying to watch a game of football and we're just getting asked shit. Mark's not rude, Mohammed. I'm trying to watch a game of football. I think it's because it's a Sunday night and people are in toxic Sunday mood and they're purposely trying to bait people in the chat. When actually most of us are here just to watch Man United play a game of football. Yeah, we're not very good, but we've been doing it for years and there's a certain level of interaction and comment that needs to be had about the actual game. And I couldn't give a shit about rugby or, other nonsense topics. So we're a massive community. We're the biggest. We're the best. If you think it's rude, fuck off and find something else. Quite simple, because it'll be a better chat without you. Come on, Ahmad. Oh, he's so scrappy. See, Ahmad's gone down injured now. This ref's a joke. He's an absolute joke. Well played, Delo. Delit just boots it clear. We need to calm down a little bit. Look after the ball a bit. Exactly. Mekel says someone's pissy today. City. This is the thing. We're just getting infiltrated by idiots on a Sunday night because they've got work tomorrow. Just wait. We don't have to read it. I will warn you now. I'm only going to read comments that are actually conducive and constructive to what we're actually doing here. Don't care about him. PGMOL statement on Michael Oliver, says Ash. Can somebody tell us what's been said on that or where we can read that? I'd be interested. Who do you think is playing bad right now, says Cal. Okay. Do you support any... No, not reading that. English commentators talking about Amorim being out of the technical area so close to the pitch, says Matthew. What, like Arteta and Pep and everybody else has done for years? Ryan Jazzy, thanks for being a member for 25 months. Sean says, member for 5 years, coming to Old Trafford for the first time in May against West Ham. Any tips or recommendations? Big up United stand. Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to go to a bar, mate, get yourself down Bishop's Blaze, but get yourself there early. I mean, just soak in the atmosphere. Old Trafford on a match day is fantastic. Thank you for the United stand. I couldn't watch it without it, says Xander. Well, Fulham have got a chance to whip a cross in here. And Arna really reminds me of Barthez, says Noon. He's a bit in and out. Yeah, consistency, I suppose, is what you're talking about. The most frustrating part is that I'm even less certain about where goals are coming from, says Patrick St. Pierre. Well, I'm dreading seeing the stats carousel coming around again, because I know for a fact we haven't had a shot on goal yet. Farhan says, can you call my wife a prat? She keeps getting in front of the TV while United are on. Might be a better view, mate, depending on what she's wearing. Hi, Mark. Genuine question. Do you think the players actually... And I'm not talking about underwear. I'm saying if she's wearing like a clown outfit or something like that, it might be more entertaining. She might be doing might be playing charades, you know. Do you think the players actually care about the fans, says Jamie? We get beat to almost every second ball. I mean, I don't think players aren't purposely trying. I think it's a mentality thing. I think it's a talent thing. I just think we've got a bad collection of players who don't necessarily suit the badge or the system. Take a breath. Cross came in. It would have dropped in, but thankfully Onana did his job and caught it. Well done, Mark. United forever, no matter what the result. Let's keep the fire burning red, passion and heartfelt belief and maybe talent, says Simeo. There's no way Amorim is telling them in training to take 4 or 5 touches and play this slowly when in possession. We just aren't technically good enough throughout the team. Scrappy, Mike JBA. Thank you very much. Colin says, what's your thoughts on Rasmus so far? I'm loving his physicality, but there's no service. Team needs to be quicker. It's a graveyard shift. I mean, there's nothing in this performance that... If I'm Xerxes, I'm sat on the bench going, I'm quite happy to come on for the last 20 minutes because there's nothing going on that pitch. I think the only thing that would piss you off if you were Xerxes would be if Rasmus was getting service, because you'd be like, oh, fucking hell, he's getting service. But there's no service out there. We've done nothing. Fulham players trying to get United players sent off. Bad first touch by Rasmus there, but Garnacho trying to find Ahmad. Do you think Agate is good enough? Yes, Paul. I still think he's adjusting to the league, but yeah. Every time I watch them, they seem to get worse, says Tusha. And apparently there's going to be a police investigation of abuse to Oliver for the red card of Lewis Miles, says Man United fan for life. King Nando wants a good B&B to stay in at Manchester. I don't know. And Philip says, how can a United great like Gary Neville be so against United? I don't think he's against United. Maguire there, good tackle. One of those ones that you look at it and think, please don't give a penalty. Back to the keeper. Now play out from the back this time. Don't hit it long. Give it to Martinez. Yes. I feel like I'm bloody doing his job for him here. Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, so Michael Oliver, we are appalled by threats and abuse directed at Michael Oliver. No official should be subject to any form of abuse, let alone the abhorrent attacks aimed at Michael and his family. The police are aware and a number of investigations have commenced. We are supporting Michael and all those affected and are determined to tackle this unacceptable behaviour. It's a shame you're not determined to tackle your shit reign as the disciplinary authority in Premier League matches over the last 2.5 years. I under no circumstances condone abuse or threats against anybody. However, if the PGMOL had been acting on fans' frustrations for the last 2.5 years, it wouldn't have got this far. You keep poking a tiger, and at some point it's going to end with something horrific where a referee is being abused or even worse. The problem with the PGMOL is they've been running a dictatorship for years and they won't do anything despite incident after incident after incident. I mean, look at the referee in the FA Cup game for Manchester United. He refereed again on Wednesday. That's the worst officiating I've ever seen. We've had no explanation. We've had no apology. It's just we go again. So I find the PGMOL, it's disgusting that Michael Oliver and his family have had abuse. No, it's not acceptable. But I find the PGMOL stance somewhat hypocritical, that they run to the rescue of Michael Oliver quite rightly and, you know, pass it on to the police and say they won't stand for this. Yet they've done nothing about the root cause of why fans are getting so angry. You can't just antagonise and irritate football fans year after year and not expect things to go badly. They're not responsible for idiots who are abusive and threatening people, but they are responsible for protecting their officials by actually educating them and you know, getting them to do better jobs. He wouldn't be getting that abuse at all if he was doing his job properly. And as I say, that is in no way, shape or form justifying abuse or threats of physicality. It's never acceptable. But they're jumping in on this, but they're not looking at the root cause. You know, Michael Oliver's not getting abused for no reason. It's because something happened and people have gone too far. But this has been going on for years. Years and years and years. Football has been riddled with the PGMOL's incompetence. And if they want to stop the abuse, you need to deal with the root cause. Honestly, so sick of the terrible team we've become, says Brandon. Take us back to the good old days, says Brandon. I get the sense I might get clipped on that, but honestly, I don't think anything I said is inaccurate. PGMOL just piss everybody off because, you know, people criticise them. Let's get, you know, it's not fair, but they never look at their issue. The longer we're not scoring, I hope Onana is sharp, says John. United fans singing attack, 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 says Robert McCormack. Cross came into the box. I mean, Robert and everybody watching, just take a look at this. 0 shots after 33 minutes. 0 shots. 0 corners. It's... Oh, Bruno, that's a mistake. We've got to be careful here. We've got to be very careful. Well done, Bruno wins it back. Too many touches again. Too slow. You've got to move the ball quicker. That's a good ball by Delo because it's first time. Come on, stretch. Too many touches, Ahmad. See, slowed it down now. That's it. End of attack. End of attack. We won't do anything with this now. Back to the halfway line because we slow it down every bloody time. Too many touches. It's like bloody river dance. If you know, you know. PGMOL are treating the symptom and not the disease. Exactly, Max. Just joined in. How's the game looking? Boring, Ankit. Really, really boring. I feel sorry for the strikers. The lack of service is below average, but no surprise. And Robinson would be very good, but expensive, says Mohamed Idris. Feel for Ruben with some of these players, says Wonderful Horseshoe. Bruno needs to take his own advice about balls, says 58 Go. Xerxes could be good in this match. Good hold up, says Hayden. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, Xerxes, I would have started Xerxes. He could hold the ball up, but I think if you're watching this game and saying that Xerxes changes the game, you're a moron. I'm sorry. I know that's harsh, but we're way past that. We're way past there's a player on the bench that's going to change this game. It's a fundamental, as many of you said, it's a fundamental footballing IQ issue. It's slow. The build-up is slow. Too many touches, too slow the build-up. No chances being created. It's a fundamental issue. And, you know, we can keep talking about we need to buy this, we need to buy that. There's nothing going on. There's another long ball. Too many long balls. Too many touches. Too slow. Just dreadful. I feel so I've done that from Mohamed. Agate's just took a hit to the face here. Can't believe Garnacho 60 million and we bought Rasmus for 70, says Khaled. I want Rasmus to do well, but can't use the service excuse. Anytime the ball goes to his feet, it's a guaranteed turnover every single time, says Kevin. Of course you can use the no service thing. It's been going on for 7 years, mate. Why don't you watch the video I did last week? It's a fact. You're entitled to your opinion, but it's a fact. We don't create chances for our striker. We haven't done it for 7 years. So hold-up play obviously can help you get up the pitch, but so can overlaps from your fullbacks. So can quick passes into space. Balls into channels. Not every attack comes from knocking the ball into the striker's feet and holding it up. In fact, it's probably not the best way to do it either. We need to move the ball quicker. The longer we're not scoring, I hope Onana is sharp. Am I the only one who is wondering why we're giving Fulham the chance to press high up by playing slow as snails from the back, says Double D. Watch the PGMOL put Oliver on Arsenal against City, says Blake. Oh, mate, they will do. They love to defy logic. I'm sick of the terrible team we've become. Take us back to the good old days, says Brandon. I'm so disappointed. Do you think Mayonu's fitness is an issue? Looks very tired after 55 minutes, says Nizam. I mean, he's only 19. It's a lot of running, but he played a lot of football in a year as well. First chat, but Bassey for Fulham is someone we should look at. I don't know. He was at Rangers, then he was at Ajax. I don't know whether Fulham might be his peak, really. That's a corner as well. Garnacho wins a corner and Anthony Taylor gives a goal kick. Which is worse for players, lack of training or constant media barrage, says Jack. I don't think either of them, mate. I think your responsibility's on yourself. Are we making excuses because the media talk about how shit they are or because they're not getting to train enough? The bloody footballers, mate. 5-yard pass, not taking 4 touches. It's got nothing to do with the media barrage or training. Where's Maguire here? Fucking hell, Mark, mate. Get quiet. Get higher than that. Imagine if Ten Hag goes to Spurs, says Alex. I was thinking, if Ten Hag goes to Spurs, we only sacked him 3 months ago. Surely he doesn't get the 17 million. Surely there's something in his contract that if he goes to another club in the first 6 months after we've sacked him, we get a refund. Got no ideas building from the back, says Cole. Can't use midfielders. Doesn't matter who we play. Centre mid every single game. So slow in the final third, says Robert. We need better service, says Wonderful Horseshoe. Christian says Rasmus is really struggling. Yeah, I would have started Xerxes. I mean, I'm not hiding that fact. I'd rather talk about why we're hitting the ball long all the time, why we've not created any chances, why we're not overlapping, why we're not moving the ball quick enough. But we can talk about the fact that Rasmus is playing woeful at the moment. He is. He's absolutely dreadful at the moment. But we've been talking about that for 3 weeks. I don't think bringing Xerxes on will make any difference because we saw Xerxes up front against Brighton and Rangers and we saw exactly the same thing with better hold-up play, but there was no service. Drew wants Casemiro back. You're that close to getting blocked, Drew. Things I'd rather see in the midfield than Casemiro. A broken tractor, a bag of cement, a rocking horse, that Michael Jackson statue outside Fulham if they've got it going spare. Instead of a left-back, maybe we can buy Oliver from City, says David. Most boring half of football ever, says Trevor. Yeah, well, it shouldn't be on a Sunday at 7 o'clock. People are tired. They're irritated. They've got work tomorrow. Fulham get the foul after Bassey hit Agate. Fixed, says Peter. Apparently, in the 2 games that Xerxes started, he had 1 chance. Oh, thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. I have said that before. It's not like I've forgotten. Please do subscribe. We're only 500 away from that being 30. We're actually on 29. So we're only 500 subscribers away from 30,000. So please do subscribe. Get involved with the United Stand. We're live every morning at 10 o'clock, every night at 8 o'clock. And obviously every match, we have match reaction straight after this where you can do your player ratings. Delo, come on, whip that cross. Oh, shit, first touch. Shit, cross. Fucking hell, mate. How hard is it to be a professional footballer that can control the ball and get it out his feet? That should be a booking for the foul on Ahmad as well. Won't be. Oh, don't throw the ball long. We're not fucking Stoke. We are. Stoke were better than us. Bring back Fred, says Lord. Ref needs a plant to carry around the pitch to replace the oxygen he's wasting, says Noah. Hope you're well, says Dean. Have you looked at any of our youth and thoughts on who maybe possibly bring up to get some minutes before the end of the season? Mate, we've still got a lot to play for. We've still got the Europa League. Come on. Well done, Agate. Win a corner. Win a corner. That's a foul. Yes, about bloody time. Fulham get the foul after... Yeah, I've done that one. Why does it feel like we play with a player less each game? Every opposition can take shots, but we can't. To be fair, I won't hear any criticism of the defence. That Fulham have not... That's a bit unfair. We've been shit in the final third, but defensively, it's not like Fulham are getting chance after chance. We've been good. I wouldn't have anything bad to say against Maguire, De Ligt and Martinez. And even Agate, I think defensively we've been fine. It's been a very boring game. Going forward, we've been dreadful. And we could have been better. Spotop are a betting company for your attention, says CSI. Who do you think will still be in this squad in 3 years, says Theo? That's a good question. Cross into the box. Get on it! Get on it! Oh, Leno's got it. There's a player down injured now. De Ligt. I've genuinely seen more attractive football down the park. I wish it was a joke, says Jace. Why does it feel like we've done that one? I wonder if there's a stat for one-touch successful passes in the final third across the season. I don't think we'd be higher than 15th, says Shahin. Matty Kenyon, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. Do you think the reason our strikers don't get services is because we haven't had a proper striker? No, Adonis, because if people actually listened... We did a video on this a week ago. This was happening in 2018. It's been going on for 7 years. We don't give the striker service. And I think we can all agree that Edison Cavani is a top striker and was living off 1.9 shots per game. So it's not anything massively about the quality of the striker. In fact, I think if we went and bought Lewandowski, he'd check himself into therapy after one game, because he'd get nothing. The reason we don't create chances is because we don't move the ball quick enough in the final third, and every defence that we come against is always ready for what we're going to do, because it's so bloody predictable. Yeah, you see, Garnacho shouldn't have flicked that. He had so much time. It was a lovely ball by Martinez, and he had so much time. If he'd have controlled it, he was going into space. Could have called him Nasser. Why are Ineos spending so much on sponsorship at Spurs don't see their same level at Old Trafford, says Viking Crypto Warrior. Would you play Garnacho and Ahmad on the wings? Template redesign says, even if you know we'll get more chances against us, it will increase the game speed. We'd get murdered, mate. You can't play two wingers down the flanks. Mark knows I haven't said anything about that. Let me just get rid of you. There we go. Thank you very much, Shahin. I was just thinking before, I can't remember the last time we had a good game at Fulham. I remember playing Fulham years ago. You'd have to be a certain age for this. I remember playing against Fulham years ago with Michael Carrick and Darren Fletcher at centre-back, and I think we won 3-1. Bruno in the midfield isn't necessarily working, no. Don't stand off Iwobi. Well done, Mazraoui. That's a foul, surely. Ez says, you think death threats are an inevitable consequence of bad refereeing? Yes. I think you're trying to be clever, aren't you, mate? Just remember, I've been in this game for 10 years. Do I think death threats are an inevitable consequence of bad refereeing? I think death threats are an inevitable consequence of missing a penalty for England, as is racism. I think death threats are an inevitable consequence of saying sell Marcus Rashford, because I've had them. I think you need to understand society, mate, before you start pontificating from whatever snowflake tower you're sitting on. Maybe get in the real world. It shouldn't be happening, but it will. If you will get death threats for saying, the last episode of Yellowstone was crap. This is the world we live in. Unfortunately, it's not a nice world, but it's the world we live in. And I'm sure many of us have been victim of this abuse, which is vile. But unfortunately, that's the bad side of social media. You can probably put a complaint into Elon Musk and X and say, I've had a death threat, and they'll do nothing about it and say freedom of speech. So welcome to the real world. Defence, good. Midfield, okay. Attack is lost, says Des Reynolds. I completely agree with you. Let's get your thoughts on half-time. It is our half-time there. Thoughts on that half? I mean, I don't think the stats are gonna lie here. I don't think we've had a shot on goal. And that is, I don't care whether we're away to the Man City or Arsenal or Liverpool. I think no shots on goal at half-time in any Premier League game is an absolute disgrace. But whatever the reasons are, and I know, as I just said there, I've been in this game for 10 years. I know how it works. It'll be Bruno's fault. It'll be Rasmus's fault. It'll be Garnacho's fault. It'll be Deleu's fault. There'll be some agenda around whoever it is. But for me, whilst you might be right about poor performances, and Rasmus hasn't been very good, and I don't think Bruno's been very good, and I don't think Garnacho's been very good, I don't think Ahmad's been very good. But collectively, we've had no shots. We've had a shot, actually. I don't remember that. We haven't had any shots on target. I think this comes down to, whether Mason Mount was fit or Marcus Rashford was able to play or Anthony was still here. Nobody would make any difference to this because collectively, we are low IQ footballers. The squad is low IQ. Some of these players can be part of the future, but the IQ is so low. It's too many long balls, it's too many touches, and the build-up play is too slow. Too slow, too long, too many touches. And that's why we're not creating chances. When you get the ball, you got to move it quick. They're trying to press us, move it quick. I don't understand how we are paying hundreds of thousands of pounds a week to footballers that can't play a pass within the first 2 seconds. Take a touch if you want, control pass. But they're going, pass. And it's like, just speed the fucking game up. You're professional footballers. I get it. If you're a coach and you got a game on Sunday and you're playing with a load of players that aren't very good, you're going to say, keep it simple. Control the ball, make sure you got it under control, and then play a simple pass. These are bloody professional footballers. Get the ball, move it quick. Fulham, their back four have got cigars on. I'm sure I saw one of them with a pair of slippers. It's easy, bruv. It's so easy. It's got me saying, bruv. It's so easy. Because we're in London, aren't we, bruv? It's so easy for them. There is no... I've played the game. I hated the first time pass. I hated teams that moved the ball quickly. I hated people that put a cross in first time. We're not putting crosses in, forget that. We're not playing passes at all. But if we do try a pass, it's head up. Hey, Rasmus, I'm going to hit this ball right towards your feet. Here it comes. Garnacho, yeah, this ball's coming to you. Wait a minute. Right, I'm ready now. It's so predictable. It's so fucking slow. And people will try and blame it on Amorim, and the manager will obviously take responsibility. But trust me, this is not on the manager. This is on players who, yet again, seem to really struggle with basics you learn when you're 9. Like, move the ball quick. We used to do this. I mean, you probably aren't allowed to do it now. But for 10 minutes, when I was under 10, you take your shoe off your strongest foot. So, I mean, I'm 2-footed. But I'd probably say, I like using my left, but I am right-footed. So I would take my left shoe off, right? No, take my right shoe off. Why did you do that? Because if you've got a football boot on your left foot and you've got a sock on your right foot, you're going to use your left foot to shoot and pass, and it makes you use your weaker foot. It's bloody painful if someone treads on your wrong foot, and that's probably why you wouldn't be allowed to do it now, health and safety. But these things, and also one touch. Who used to hate that in training when the manager would go, right, next 10 minutes it's one touch. You can't dribble anymore. You can't, take your time. These are basics. These are not things that Pep Guardiola takes his Man City team into a room that nobody can see in and, right, we're going to play one-touch football. This is basic under 10 training sessions. And Man United can't do it. We can't play first-time passes. We can't play two-touch football. We can't move the ball quickly. And yet, I'm watching Seb play football today, 5-a-side, under 8s. They're knocking the ball around quicker than Man United are today. They're going forward. Like Seb sort of plays, they have a goalkeeper, 2 defenders, a midfielder and an attacker. The left-hand side is this lad, and the right-hand side is Seb. And when they get the ball, they get it from the goalkeeper, because he plays out from the back, they turn and they go down the line. And the tactic is to get all the way down the line and get across into the box. And both of them get the ball and move forward. That's what they do. Even if there's a player in front of them, they move forward and look for a 1-2 or take them on. Man United, we don't even take the ball off the goalkeeper. Boom, Stoke. It's so fucking shit. It's really shit. And it can't be the manager, because the previous manager wanted to play a style of football we saw at Ajax and they wouldn't do it then. And we've seen the style of football at Sporting and we're not doing it now. It's so primitive, this style of football. It's Jurassic Park. It's bloody Jurassic Park. It's terrible. I saw one point where we got a throw in and the idea was, let's chuck it in like Rory Delap. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. And look, and there's a lot of people in the chat. Let's just have the 10 seconds. Rasmus's hold-up play hasn't been very good. Sub in for Xerxes. We've had the conversation. But let's go back to the real problem, is our inability to move the ball quickly, our reliance on the long ball, and why we take so many touches on the ball. And we are a shit team to watch. We're a shit team to watch. And I see teams like Bournemouth moving the ball quickly from back to front. Look, the striker's there to finish the chances if they come. They're occasionally there to hold the ball up. But what team hits the ball long to their striker to hold it up in 2025? You're meant to be moving the ball quickly between the lines, working up the pitch, overlaps, quick movement. We're not doing any of this. So I think some people think if Xerxes and Rasmus can hold the ball up, we'll suddenly score 60 goals. It's a minute part of the game that most people don't even use, because they're moving up the pitch quickly. And what you want to be doing is moving up the ball. Look, I'm even watching Fulham here. Moving quickly, Iwobi channel, Anthony Robinson overlap. Cross, it's literally on the telly now. It was a bad cross, but that's what you need to do. Stretch teams, move the ball quickly so that Garnacho and Ahmad and Rasmus or Xerxes are running into space and Fulham are stretched. They're not stretched. They're playing bloody Uno. They're comfortable. We're not playing to win, but we're not playing to lose. I said it would be a draw, Hookham. It could be a really boring game. It has been so far. Do you think the lack of precision and concentration is complacency and arrogance, says Marlowe? I don't know what it is, mate, but we know we're not a good team. Any other team you watch crosses the ball into the box. Fulham have had 4 or 5 crosses in the first half, yet simply United won't do it, says Jim. A team that quintessentially is known for its ability to put the crosses into the box, yeah, they're not able to do it. Mark, I agree improving the infrastructure would be good and up the value of the club, but wouldn't it increase the value of the shares and therefore increase the amount Ineos have to pay for the takeover? Don't care, Matty. Couldn't give a shit about how much it's going to cost to Jim to take over the club. I care about what we're doing on the pitch, and we're a fucking mess. To be fair, no matter how slow the ball goes, I'm not reading that. Well, there's 45 minutes of my life I ain't getting back, says Darry. My dad said earlier that he hates watching United at the moment for the first time in 65 years. Personnel is a big issue. We've got a lack of creativity in the midfield. I also think, yeah, we've spoken about Rasmus. I think the defence is doing quite well. I don't think Bruno in the midfield's working either, is it? Let's be honest. Kyle thinks Xerxes wins as the game. Don't think you understand football. It's understandable why we're not making quick passes, because we're trying to control the game and not do the I don't know what that means, Hyans. Chainsaw, welcome to Members Club. Got to be better at movement without the ball going forward. My granny could read these passes, says Supiot. Finally, somebody with a bit of footballing IQ. Way too many long balls, says Slow Sports News. Oh, another one. When moving the ball up, we're doing it slow and giving them time to get back. Where's the urgency to score and win? I don't think we've stretched Fulham at all. I don't think we've countered Fulham at all. It's called tempo. Great point in the chat. Let me get that one back. Where was it? Yeah, shout out Manny Malos. It's called Tempo. When you play away from home, you know the home team has an obligation to its home support to attack you. So when you're playing away, you should each half get at least 4 or 5 breaks. I don't think we broke away once. That shows you how slow we are, because Fulham want to attack. They're at home. They want to play for their crowd. They want to attack. Therefore, they commit men to go forward. Therefore, there will be opportunities on the break. I don't think we broke away once. That just shows you how slow we are when we get the ball. It's almost like when we get the ball off Fulham on the attack, we go slow down. I've seen Bruno do it twice. Slow it down. What do you mean fucking slow it down? Slow it down for what? So we can keep a clean sheet for ourselves? And I don't mean Onana, I meant for Leno. We're meant to be scoring up the other end. Shut down your channel, says Isno. Diabolical football. This football club is never coming back. It's rotten everywhere. It's been run to the ground, and now they want the fans to pay the prices of their fuck-ups, says Isno. Well, we won't be shutting down the channel, Isno, because I think at a time where all these things are going wrong, I think fans need somewhere to come and discuss and unite behind what is a shit show, definitely. The players are so afraid to play on instinct, they're thinking too much about every decision, says AJ. I think you're right up. I think you're absolutely spot on, AJ. And it worries me that we've had Ruben Amorim speak about this, to be fair, the lack of confidence at home when we're not playing at home. It's worrying. The two players, and I don't know what anybody else thinks about this, the two players I have really big sympathy with are Garnacho and Ahmad, because we're not moving quick enough to get them the ball into space. And because of where they're operating, you've got a back 4 for Fulham, you've got a midfield 2, and where they're operating, because Fulham's defence is relatively high, there is so little space for Garnacho and Ahmad because they're not playing wide, they're playing centrally, that's the system. So they're getting the ball and they've literally got 3 players on them each because of where they are. Amorim's system, this is not, I mean, let me break it down for you. I need to change this. So let me just do this very, very quickly because I think it's an important point. Yeah, the issue you've got is that where Garnacho and Ahmad are on that screen, there's about 6 Fulham players around them. So there's no space. Now, if they're out wide, then you're up against your fullback, maybe a winger. You might have 2 players near you. You'll get more space. But in this system, there's no space because we're not moving the ball quick enough. So by the time they get the ball, they've got 4 or 5 players around them. Now, if you look at Sporting, that system works really well because there are wide players who are wingers and Fulham have to deal with them as well, which creates space and they move the ball quicker. So I feel bad for Garnacho and Ahmad because they can't be creative when there's no space and they're not getting the ball quick enough. So they're sort of like a couple of dead ducks, really. They're not in the game. And one of the big problems with that, and I said it during the game, is we're basically playing a back 5 every week. When you're playing a back 5, you lose an attacker or a midfielder. When Ten Hag was here, he was playing a 4-3-3. We're playing a 2-2-1. We're a man down in the attack. We've got 5 attackers, one of which is Agate, who isn't really an attacker. So in a Ten Hag system, you had a 3 and a 3. We've got a 2 and a 1. We're a man down. Now, Sporting, you're not a man down because your wide players are wingers, but our wide players are fullbacks. So we're playing against, the one positive is for us is our defence has been good, but we are playing with a back 5. I'd expect us to be quite tight at the back with a back 5. We're not conceding many chances. But our fullbacks are meant to be part of the attack. They're meant to be, a front 5, but they're not. They're fullbacks. That's what they are. And defensively, we've looked okay, but as an attack, it's been a shambles, really. This is why, for me, when we were talking about Amorim in November and people were talking about wing-backs, I was saying it can't be wing-backs because it's a back 5 with wing-backs. And then you're not going to create much because you're very defensive. At Sporting, it wasn't a back 5. It was wide attacking players, and we haven't got wide attacking players unless we put Ahmad there. I don't know why Delo's shit going forward now. He's really shit. And Mazraoui for me, is a fullback. Leben says, we're more comfortable losing the ball in our half than we need to be smarter. Our club has hit a wall, says Leben. Amorim preaches ball carrying through the midfield and aggressive attacking wing-backs. Our wide players are pinned back and no support for the 10s. Absolutely spot on, Broy. I'm getting some really good stuff coming in here. The 3 points are there for the taking as Fulham aren't playing great. If we could pull our finger out, says Simon. Yeah, and you know, I'd be disappointed if we lost this game. And I suppose in many ways, a draw isn't necessarily a bad result. You know, sometimes our expectations are... you know, a bit high, but we are Manchester United, and a point at Fulham this season would be a good point. But what did I say before the start of the game? Performance is really important. Like, results aren't as important in the league. In the Europa League, results important. Get through to the next round. But I think in the Premier League, we're not going to do anything in the Premier League. So we need to see performance as well. And we're not seeing performance. We're grinding a result out, but Ten Hag could do that. Ollie could do that. We do actually need to see a bit of an identity. Stefano, Bruno's lazy passes are killing us. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only about 20 away from 30,000. So thank you for everyone who's doing that. Could just be me thinking straight, but do I see enough space between Fulham's centre-backs, says David Martinez. United are shy to take on the 1v1. I think the best play in the whole game was the long diagonal by De Ligt. Brilliant control by Garnacho. Went past his man. Mazraoui with the overlap, and then a poor cross. That's the only thing I can think of that's been any good in 45 minutes. Settling for tonight's screening of Jurassic Pass. Also, Ute, I'm going to use that. Jurassic Pass. Yeah, forget Jurassic Park, it's Jurassic Pass. Would have been cheaper to get Weghorst, says my besto friend, instead of Rasmus. I'd make sure there are no TVs in the dressing room, says Muyad. Thank you, Ben Bristow, as well. Thank you, Suboy. Thank you, Mark. And Johnny Mills says, I hope you're doing well. Credit to the defence, especially Agate, but we're so slow. Bruno's been poor with his passing. Too many touches from players. Hope we do better second half. Thank you, Johnny. Lots of people talking about Rasmus. I'm not skirting over it. We've spoken about it. Obviously, he's having a shit game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Xerxes at some point, but I'm not going to keep having the same conversation over and over and over again. I'd have started Xerxes anyway. Maybe it's just a rotational thing for fitness, but even though, look, I would hazard a guess if Xerxes had started the game, he might have held the ball up a little better, but we wouldn't have created any more chances. He's been holding the game up. He's been holding the ball up well for the last 2 games, and he hasn't had any chances. Fans are great. Not stop singing. Loud and proud, says David. Best away support in the league. Every manager coming to United looked dead after a month, says Gokka. He does look ill, doesn't he, Amorim? He does. I absolutely hate Delo, says Luke, and Mazraoui out wide. Restrictors. Yeah, I agree with that. Don't forget, we're sponsored by True Classic. They're known for their T-shirts. Get them delivered to your door. Scan the QR code. Links in the description. We all need a good set of T-shirts to wear underneath our shirts, or to bed, or just to chill out in. Fantastic fit, fantastic feel. Available in lots of different colours. Check them out. True Classic. They also do loads of other stuff like jumpers, underwear, the lot. Fantastic products. Big shout out to True Classic. Scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. Appreciate that. Thanks everyone who's tuning in as well. A steady 50,000 on a Sunday night. I know what, especially when we're having to... Well, it's therapy. It's a therapy session, isn't it? I can't pretend it's been a good game. It's a therapy session. But I've got to be honest, some people would say, if we grind it out, what we're moaning for, I disagree. I think we're past that now. We've brought a manager in to play a certain brand of football to try and build a future. We can't, after 10 years, we can't just continue to be a team that's not very good, but occasionally grinds out good results. I mean, we beat Man City at the Etihad. We got a draw at Anfield. And then you go and get battered by teams like Bournemouth and Brighton. We've actually got to start playing a little bit better. Fans, done that from David. Thank you very much. I'm just sipping on what's left of my red wine from the other night. Slowly sipping. I'm not going mad tonight. Shiraz. Ultimately, do you think Højlund or Xerxes will ever be good enough to start United, says Robbo? What I will say about Xerxes and Rasmus is, and I take on board the criticism or positives about both, but I genuinely would say a striker is surely to be judged on service. And to me, yeah, hold-up play is important. Running the lines is important. But if a striker gets 2 chances and scores 2 goals, you're 2-0 up. And I would like to be judging Xerxes and Rasmus on creativity, and the hold-up play isn't in the penalty box. You know, I think there are still multiple opportunities where we could be giving better service. I'm sorry, I like Rasmus, but he's not very good, says Tony. Are you watching the NFL playoffs, says Ian? I will try and watch a bit of Bills against Chiefs, but I'll definitely fall asleep. Ben says, oh, here we go. Bruno with the cross, and that he's not going to go for a corner. Hoyland no service today is an issue, but unfortunately we look for Delit far too often on the set piece because he's not a threat on that. Artin wants to get rid of Anana. Okay, I don't think Anana's really done anything wrong tonight. Well, I suppose, actually, the long balls, but the thing about Anana is he was kicking long balls for Ten Hag and he's kicking long balls for Amorim. And as a student of both Ajax and Sporting, I think we all know, or students of Ajax and Sporting, I don't think for 1 minute Ruben Amorim wants a goalkeeper that kicks it long, and I certainly don't think Ten Hag does as well. Boo-boo-boo. Painfully dull, says Aldo. It just seems we don't get the ball into the final third. Rasmus does need to improve, but the service is shit. That's from Aldo. Am I the only one that's seeing progress with the team, or is my ball knowledge too low? I think they are getting better. They just seem unfamiliar with the new attacking system, says Lee. I think your ball knowledge is low, mate. I don't want to be offensive, but I don't see progress at all. I think defensively we're good, but that we're playing a back five. Like, the only positive is that Fulham aren't getting chances, but we're playing a back five. I mean, what do people expect? We've got an extra defender than most other teams use. So defensively we're good. We've got a back five. Offensively we're shit. That's not progress. Graham Lasso is saying Amorim needs to go back 4 and blaming his system as to why we're so bad, says Kevin. Yeah, we're not changing the system. Whoever the moron is in the fan base or on telly saying he needs to go to a back 4 is incredible. It's like Oasis releasing a new album that doesn't do well, and then some music critic saying they need to do some sort of songs like One Direction. Cover a Boyzone hit. It's so moronic. Like, this is a manager whose whole career is built on a 3-4-3. And he comes to Man United, he doesn't get any new signings, the footballers are shit, and then some prat in the mainstream says he needs to go to a back 4. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He's got a distinctive style and a distinctive system that we haven't serviced or supplied him with, and he has to change. Come on. Come on. Adama Traore is going to come on, says Lou, and it'll be all over then. We're just spamming square, says SH said. If you know, you know. Our wide players are too defensive. Our number 10s drift wide. We're isolating the striker. Amorim needs to gamble with one of those wide players, says Free Immortal. Backwards, sideways, says Robert. And Graham, I've done that one from Kevin Martinez. Look, I genuinely wouldn't bother doing any more super chats about Rasmus. We've spoken about it for 10 minutes, and we've acknowledged that he's having a shit game, and he will be off the pitch very soon. But your super chats about it, I'm just not reading them, because we're doing a watch along about a game of football, and there's a whole load of other stuff to talk about, and I don't intend to spend, much the same as I said about Rashford 2 months ago. It gets really boring when people just want to talk about one player. You think Rasmus is shit? Well done. I'll do it for you now. You think Rasmus is shit. There you go. It's been said on the United Stand multiple times for you. Now, can we talk about the slow build-up play? Can we talk about, too many touches? Can we talk about what subs we could do? Can we talk about, what we need to do in the transfer market? Can we just change the topic? Because it's really boring. I know it's in the live chat. That's in the free seats. But doing super chats about it, I'm just trying to save your pocket because it's really repetitive to keep having to talk about the same thing. And I sort of feel guilty because you do a super chat. But we did speak about it for like 5 minutes at half time. I think Maguire's man of the match, says Constantine. Yeah, Maguire or De Ligt. But I've got to be honest, they haven't got a difficult job playing in a back five. Like, I've played the game. I used to play as a centre-back. And playing in a back three is a piece of cake when compared to playing in a back two. We are... I wouldn't even say we're playing well defensively. I'd say we've just got a back five. And it's quite easy. There's always an extra man. I mean, look at us now. You know, we're really stacked. I mean, look, maybe Amorim, in all fairness, maybe Amorim's come here and said, let's just not get beat. In Sky Germany, they're playing the game at 1-2 speed. And it's still slow. Lack of experience and physicality, says Jimbo. I'm really looking forward to any plans to organise the base to effect some real change, says David. Mills, thanks for your super chat, David. Constantine thinks Maguire's man of the match. Commentators in the States have been complaining about the formation the whole game. Why do we have to adapt to shit players? We don't need to change the formation, Omar. It's, I'd love, you know what? Xerxes coming on for Rasmus. I think it's well overdue. I would love to, I'd love to debate some of these ex-players anyway. I've said it for years, but they're too scared to do it. But I'd absolutely love to have a chat with them about formation because they get buried. I'd be like, so this manager needs to change his formation that he's had his whole career. For what? The players are suddenly going to start playing better in a back four. Penalty! Mate, he's got to give it. Is it a penalty? Edge of the box. Is it a penalty? Lovely ball by Garnacho. No, it's not. It's edge of the box. Edge of the box. Definitely a foul. 100%. He's gone to ground. Doesn't get the player. We won't do anything with this. I was excited for a minute because I thought penalty, shot on goal. But we ain't going to do anything with a free kick. Armin says, we're playing so narrow, the wide area of the pitch are empty and Fulham's fullbacks are pushing forward without fear. The teams from the 70s and 80s battled for the badge. This squad lacks identity and backbone. Thanks for the content, says Leo. 0 shots on target in 1.5 games in the Prem, apart from a penalty. Shit. Matt, you're absolutely correct. Forgot about that. Remember who was up front for the Brighton game as well? Xerxes. 0 service. Do you hate City or Liverpool more, says Taylor? I probably would admit City. I don't like Liverpool more because they're our rival, but there's more respect for Liverpool. Seems like Traore hasn't applied Johnson oil today. We should be able to handle him, says Sheehan. The video did about the owners and Ineos was spot on. It's very depressing, says Stefano. Yeah, thanks everybody who watched that. Jim says, I've got no problem with Amorim wanting to establish his system. What bothers me is that he doesn't have another system to change things up in a game. Well, you shouldn't have to, mate. Here we go. Bruno, shit. Absolute shit. Mate, you're saying it's close. It's not on target. You know, you've gone under the wall because it's jumped, but you've not got it on target from there. Fucking hell. Xerxes and Yoro are coming on. De Ligt comes off. Probably to do with minutes. Rasmus comes off because he's been dreadful. How are there no wing-backs available, even on loan, that would increase options, says Toby. And in Sky Germany, I've done that one, thank you very much. Why do you think refs are always biased against this? I really... If we were a decent team, I might talk about refs, but I am not asking for... pity about referees when we're playing like this. United 123 says, I understand buying good young players before they cost 80 million like Brighton and Leicester, but we can't expect to buy our players when they then be better than them, says United 123. Okay, you can't expect to buy our players when they would be better than them. I don't know what that means, sorry. Will Xerxes out-hus Fulham now he's on, says Dylan. And what's your prediction for the last days of the window, says Ivor. Mate, I'm depressed enough by this performance. Don't make me think about what we might do in the last few days of this window because, as we know, some of the rumours are horrific. Can you call Ian a Pratt, says Ashley. And could Amorim walk if we don't bring in players, says Bear Merchant. I don't think any manager walks these days, if I'm being honest. You know, you're under a big contract. Why would you walk? It's like the further we go down the pitch, the more diluted the team becomes. Well, look, Xerxes on now. Let's see if it makes a difference in relation to service and chances. Dharma Traore is on. Yoro is on for us defensively as well. I think the game would be perfect for Eriksen, breaking Fulham down with clever short passes. I think it would be awful for Eriksen, Matt, because this is a very high-intensity game, and Eriksen is slower than a snail's shit. I think Eriksen's a good player if you're camped on the edge of the opposition's box and they're looking to counter on you, but we're playing away from home against an energetic Fulham side, and he ain't got the legs for it. Same with Casemiro. Garnacho's just gone down injured. I mean, look, I said this before the game. Apart from Xerxes, there isn't really any attacking options on the bench. We've got Eriksen, Casemiro, Collier, Mainu, and that's it, attacking-wise. And they're not really attackers, are they? Strong by Adama Traore. Good tackle by Martinez, but he seems to have got himself injured in the process. I don't know what happened, but... I mean, Adama Traore is a bloody unit. Doesn't matter how tough you are. If he goes in on a tackle with you, it's going to hurt. Yeah, I think it's just a 50-50. To be fair, Martinez was jumping into that. Shouldn't be jumping into that like that either. He's gone in with that double jump thing, which I don't like. I think if referees see that, it can be a problem. But hopefully he's all right. I think he's going to be okay. And there's not many players in world football that are going to come up against Adama Traore and win in a 50-50. Lack of movement, shocking, says Sugar. Total snooze fest. Well, there's Xerxes holding the ball up a little bit better, to be fair, which many of you predicted. Please call Kim a Pratt. P.S. Reece James is the GOAT, says Gian. Mark, I am too preemptive for worrying about Amorim getting thrown under the bus. Do you think he will have enough time, says Bill? Mate, look. He can have another month. He can have another 10 years. Do you think these players get better? I mean, I think you raise a good point. What is it some fans are waiting for? Because I watch this and I go, I'm not surprised. I mean, I don't think it's going to get any better until he gets better players. I think people overestimate the problem here. I think there are still some of our fans that think at some point we're just going to click. It's a football IQ problem. You can't polish a turd. If you could, Pep Guardiola wouldn't go and spend 150 million euros in January. He'd look at his youth team or he'd look at Preston and go, I can make them the next Phil Foden. You can't. You go and buy players that suit your system. And Pep has just gone and bought 3 players. And over the last 10 years has bought multiple players for his system. I mean, to the extent that he went through a few goalkeepers until he found Ederson. He went through a few right backs. We are not going to click with this squad. because they are not good enough for the way Amorim wants to play. So if you're waiting for next week or next month or March for us to suddenly start playing like Sporting, it won't happen. There might be some improvement, but not to the extent that people want, because until we actually change the profile of the squad, it's going to be a problem. Come on, Garnacho. Nicely into Bruno. Bruno couldn't fucking control the ball if he tried. Fucking hell, mate. Well done, Agate. This is Van Gaal ball all over again, says Leb. And to think Scooby-Doo is going to win the league and Anthony will probably get Ballon d'Or in Spain now, says Dennis. I don't think that's going to happen, the second one. I think Scooby-Doo might win the league, although I wouldn't count out Inter. Min J maybe, he's a tank, says HC. Welcome to Members Club, Fernando Perez. Please call Kim a Pratt. Done that from that. Martinez done that before, says Joey. Look, this is where I step into, like, red-tinted glasses, yes, but fairness. That Adama Traore thing, Martinez, what he did is naughty. I don't like it. He does it sometimes. I don't like it. I like Martinez. I don't like that. Jumping in two-footed is dangerous, and you can really hurt people with that. Bruno's pass is overhit. He's having a stinker, isn't he? SHZ says, part of me wants Garnacho to fake an injury so he doesn't leave. Try Mainu as a 10, says Ben J. One strong 10-minute period would win the game, says Matthew. Mate, all we got to do is create a chance and score it. Varady says, I'd rather be at a funeral than watch this. Mark, playing a back five completely defeats the purpose of an Amorim system. He never used fullbacks in Sporting. You would be better off with a 4, says Abraham. Since when do centre-backs need subbing off after 60 minutes to save legs? We do it every game, says Alex. Because we have a fitness department that's absolutely shitting itself. So they tell Amorim, don't play players for a certain amount of period. And Amorim sort of has to do it, because if he doesn't, he's then defying the fitness people. We've been doing it for weeks. Inexplicably taking people off after 60 minutes. Done it with Agate twice. Done it with De Ligt. Done it with Maguire. Done it with Yoro. You know, you're taking players off that are actually doing quite well just because the fitness team says yes. Man United need a Minte type player, says Max. You're saying high intensity, but we just 60 minutes of boring, slow football. We don't have any high intensity, says Matt West. Many horses for different courses. Have we had a shot yet, says Jack? I'm going to run a competition. Name that shot. We've had 3 shots, apparently. I can't remember any of them. So if you can remember, if you can name the 3 shots in the live chat, your star of the day. Bruno's free kick. Yes, 1. That's definitely 1. De Ligt had a header. I don't remember that. Anana's long ball. That might have been counted as a shot. I think he was trying to pass it. Yoza says, there are people out there who actually think if we sign a top-class striker, we'll be a good team. Yeah, it's called peasant football opinion, mate. Football's open to everybody. And that's a peasant opinion. Low IQ. Why not try Ahmad and Garnacho on the wing? Bruno and Xerxes behind Rasmus. It's very attacking, but we don't have much to lose, apart from a game of football, Dawid. United take off Højlund tonight. He needs 90 minutes to get even a decent chance. He will never get into form otherwise, says Jack. No, I think he needs... Mate, I think, look, there is no service, but he wasn't having a good game anyway. I mean, look, as I said, let's see in the last 25 minutes if Xerxes gets a shot on goal. I completely agree with the assessment that Bruno, Bruno as well, but that Rasmus was shocking tonight. Completely agree. But it still doesn't change the fact that I don't think there'll be much service into Xerxes either. Jack O'Connor, thanks for being a member for 27 months. Bruno's not been great tonight, says Jonathan. No, creating nothing again, says Jake Dobson. Yeah, look, I completely agree. Bruno's been absolutely terrible in that position. At the thing you would expect him to be good at, which is creativity. Apologies, by the way. When I said we're 20 subscribers away from 30,000, I meant 200. We're 150 away. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the channel. Match reaction coming up after this. Then we're back in Manchester for the fan forum. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. The link's in the description. You might want to wait a few minutes until you do that. But yeah, I mean, for me, I wouldn't even call it man of the match. I really wouldn't. I think it's been a back five has done quite well. But yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be Maguire for me, who has probably had a 6.5, who gets man of the match. I mean, he's done nothing wrong, but De Ligt had done nothing wrong, but he's gone off. But it's not been a good defensive display. I mean, it's just been a boring game. Have Fulham had attack after attack after attack? No. Here we go. Xerxes loses it. We actually had a bit of a break there for once. I was getting excited. Is anyone above a 6? Maguire, 6.5. I mean, I'd give Agate a 6, Martinez a 6, Mazraoui a 6. I'd probably give Garnacho and Ahmad a 6 because I really don't know what else they can do. I mean, we're almost letting the graveyard shift move down the pitch. It's not just the striker now, it's the number 10s. Ruben's trainers man of the match, says Flash Talks. Any good wins to take, Mark, any good wine to take my depression away, or do you reckon any will, says Ryan? I mean, it can be a dangerous thing, drinking when you're not feeling good. Joey says Adama is a classic case of a pace merchant. He's an NFL player, isn't he? He's a kick, you know, he's basically a battering ram. I think they actually wanted him as an NFL player. I'm sure I read that before. We've had a lot of these players for some time. Their IQ is dropping, says Gadget. XHX says, I did a deep dive on United. PSR compliance is above profit and loss. United could easily inject equity. Does my nut in all this miscommunication on X? A lot of the people miscommunicating on X are doing it because they have relationships with the ownership. It's a good cross. Well done, Maguire. You can have man of the match for that. That actually was a good bit of defending from Maguire. He's got to get there because the keeper... Look at the keeper here. That is shit from the goalkeeper. What is he doing? That's right in the 6-yard box. He's there going, well done, Maguire. He should be all over that. I mean, that's right in the 6-yard box. Anthony's watching from Bermuda. Talking about right into the 6-yard box. Is this the first corner of the game? Well, no, it might be the second corner of the game. Right, we've got to defend this well. And it is. Well done, Xerxes. They know what to do. Put it in on Onana. Commentators are slating Rasmus for not scoring is like blaming the delivery driver for not delivering a parcel that was never sent, says Dan. Mate, what have I told you? The mainstream couldn't analyse a turd. They are absolutely terrible. What they do is they want to scapegoats. They'll put it on one player. You're educated. You watch Man United week in, week out. This is not just let's change the striker and everything's okay. It's much more than that. I'm just hoping the game will open up a little bit. Mazraoui, right. We've switched Mazraoui and Delo, by the way. Mazraoui's gone to the right. Delo's gone to the left. Bruno. Trying to find Garnacho. There's Adama. Pass 1. Pass 2. That's going to be a yellow card for Agate. How long till he gets a ban? Shout out to Ricky the Godfather, always proven right in the long run. Great ball knowledge and extensive and experienced football mind. Respect, says the game is... Oh, Ricky did say he had a burner account. All right, Rick, hope you're doing well. Hi, Mark. Where do you get the hoodies and tops from? United Stand Shopify. Philip. Valencia La Liga's answer of Man United, says Marcus. Anthony Darrell's watching from Bermuda. FCSB supporter here. How do you think United will fare against us next week, says Stefan? I've got no idea, mate. I mean, you're not in a bad position, are you? But Rangers pumped you, so I thought it would be a win for us. But, I mean, that was before I actually saw us play. Ryan says it's a joke giving Mazraoui a 6, nothing going forward. Yeah, but it'd be a 6 for his defensive display, wouldn't he? He's a wing-back, mate. He's not a winger. It depends. Are you judging him as a winger or are you judging him as a full-back? I mean, Collier's coming on. I imagine that'll be for Agate because he's on a yellow. Putrid stuff, says James O'Hanlon. NAU says, give over if you think we're winning the Europa League. Iraqi says, anyone else feel like you're watching a championship game? It's not good, mate. Wow, that's an understatement. There's a player down injured here for United. Adama Traore over the bar. Yoro's got to get tighter there. You can't be giving people a shot in the box. Martinez is rattled by Adama Traore, I tell you. He's just going to give him a bit of an elbow as well. He needs to calm the fuck down. Yeah, Garte's took a tackle on the shin, hasn't he? I don't know. I don't think Martinez is very happy with Adama Traore. So, well, I can't see it because yeah, great bit of commentary there. They don't even let it go back. He's a unit, Adama, isn't he? He really is a unit. Collier for Agate. I think we predicted that one. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. I get the Football Manager fantasy of quickly moving the ball up to the 210s and having the wing-backs overlap, then having 3 or 4 players to aim in for a good around the box. But were these players, as Mr. Glenn Johnson? Look, if you don't like the formation, there's a very easy person to blame, and that's the board at Manchester United. I mean, I did say when we got Amorim, very exciting, really like the manager, really like the system, really exciting, but I think we all acknowledge that we don't have the team to play it. So we were all thinking, oh, there's going to be a lot of activity in the transfer window, and we haven't had any. I mean, I don't want Amorim to change his system, but I also know we haven't got the players for it. So the question is, why did we get Amorim? You know, it's quite scary. You can talk about PSR, you can talk about the Dan Ashworth idiocy of employing and then sacking, but are we not looking at another one? You know, I'm really happy with Amorim. I really like him, but we don't have the players for his system. So why did they give him the job? It's weird. If they didn't have the money to allow him to build a team, what did they think was going to happen? He was going to come in like Harry Potter and start doing spells on everybody and make them play like Sporting. You need the players to do it. Sorry, had a snore for 5 minutes. Did I miss anything, says Param? I'd love to say you did, but you didn't. What was the dream like? It would probably be better than the highlights of this. 0 shots on target. What a snooze fest, says Red Devil. Garnacho lays it off. Oh, Collier was on the edge, but good interception by Berg. Goal, Martinez! The butcher! Pat, 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 pat. That came from nowhere. Have some of that. 1-0 to Manchester United. Sit down. Wake up. Wake up. If you were bored on a Sunday night, we bloody scored. It's not a drill. I'm not doing it. Alexa, play We're Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. 1-0 to Manchester United. I need to see it back. I need to see it back. Get in.
Absolutely fantastic. All comes from work from Garnacho down that side. Cuts it back. They don't clear it properly, and then I don't even think the cameraman knows. Yeah, Martinez hits it. Bit of a deflection. Yeah, look, we'll take that. Bit of luck. It definitely loops. Yeah, it reminds me of West Germany's goal against England in Italia 90 off Paul Parker. Shilton can't do anything about it. This time it's Leno. 1-0. I mean, look, there's a lot of luck on that. It's not a clean hit. I thought it was a clean hit. He hits it, goes off the Fulham player, flips up, and Leno at full stretch can only get his fingers on it. It is a lucky goal. I've got to be fair. This ain't good enough. I said it before the game, and I can't be a hypocrite. We can't be playing shit, grinding results out. You know, we're still in the bottom half of the league. We've got to start playing better. It's good to win. It's always good to win. And it's nice to shut up some of the people who are taking the piss out of us. But there is a serious side that we've got to play better. And that's our second shot on target in 2 games, and one was a penalty and the other's a deflection. It ain't good enough, is it? Really? But look, let's get the win, and we can assess that afterward. Couple of substitutions for United. Malacia and Mainu coming on. Martinez should play the 9. He's better than both, says Melgs. Yeah, that's a silly comment. We can upload a best bits after this, says Kieran. Where's going to have a worse season, Spurs or Man United, says it's Lou. I think we're having a better season than Spurs, mate. We must be about 10 points clear of them now. Did you hear about Adama's move to the NFL, Corey? I did hear about it before. I don't think he's going there now. Garnacho's coming off, and who else is good? He'd never take Bruno off, will he? Pisses me off, but as shit as Bruno's been, we're worse without him, aren't we, as a captain? But Bruno should have been subbed off 20 minutes ago. Awful performance, but as we know, just to the people in the chat who are moaning about Bruno, unfortunately, as bad as Bruno is, you take him off and we get worse because he's actually important as a captain. So we can't take him off. Where's Anthony when you need him, says Extincts. Thank you very much. I think that was before the goal. I love what Amorim is doing with Rashford and Casemiro. They can't get a minute, says Red Devil Germany. And all my Alexas just started playing. Cheers, Mark. Lovely stuff. Bit of excitement. Robert says Anana's terrible. Getting the butcher, never stops fighting, says Mankin LA. Martinez, thank you very much for that. Right, so we've got about 10 minutes left here. Probably one of the worst games I've watched in a long time. Well, I've watched a lot lately. But it'd be nice to get 3 points. It doesn't do a hell of a lot for the league. We go up to 12th. I think we'd still be 4 points off 10th, which is 33 points in Fulham. But, you know, a win's a win. I'm sorry, but this is Ollie Ball. Moments FC, says Jack Wheeler. I think Fulham will equalise. I genuinely do. I'd be surprised if they don't. Bruno is like Royal Mail. No delivery on most weekends anymore, and second-class delivery, even though you paid for first class. There's no retreat. The issue with Bruno is he suffers main character syndrome and always wants to be the man, forcing plays. Sadly, this is also what saves us at times, says Michael. The formation and players worked against City, Liverpool and the Gooners, says Stephen Barnum. No, I think in that game we were, playing a big team where we could sit deep and defend, and no one would moan about it because they're better than us. But you can't keep doing that every week again. Playing a back 5 with fullbacks against Fulham, it's embarrassing. We're only winning because of a deflected shot from distance. That's the only shot we've had on target. You know me, I'll react to any Man United game where we win happily. I did it against Brentford last year. I did it a couple of times this year. But we have got to start putting a performance in. And this is survival football again, isn't it? We're not going to concede many goals if we play a back 5. And we're playing a back 5. And is Amorim already wandering into survival football? Abandoning what he's all about because he knows he'll get beat? And that's not a reflection on Amorim. I think it's a reflection on the fact that he hasn't got the fucking players. And what's he supposed to do? Mark, a graveyard shift is just a job at night. Hoyland and Xerxes have a very hard task, meaning useless or impossible. Love the show, not the match, says Rory. Well, here's Adama Traore, puts the cross in. Why is Malacia playing right back? Oh, God, I tell you what, Adama Traore, if he'd have actually focused on the header and not hitting Martinez, I think he might have scored there. Timothy Gillespie says, stop complaining. Happy are you, Timothy? Happy with the performance? Well done. Jammy Bastards says NAU. And Mr. Glenn Johnson says, psyched up for the big games against rivals, then fall on our face against smaller clubs. Do we have mental coaches at the club? Surely we have. Great run by Garnacho. Chelsea boys are decent, says A2. Bruno, thank you very much for that. Okay. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right. I need a title for the match reaction. I might go with Lucky Bastards, but nah, we won't go with that. What would you describe this game as? 1 or 2 words. I'm gonna use one of yours. I normally always do the title, but you know it's a Sunday night. Don't normally do Sunday night watch alongs, so jam on toast. No, I don't think it was a jam on toast. I don't think it was smash and grab. I mean, I've got to be honest, I don't think it's jammy. I don't think it's a smash and grab. I mean, Fulham haven't created anything, really. I'm more thinking about, I mean, it was going to be bore draw, but Butcher to the rescue. That's going to be a goal kick. Game of Groans, says Jackson. We're above Crystal Palace now. Get in, says James O'Hanlon. No change, says Oliver Cook. And Martinez masterclass. I wouldn't say it was a masterclass, Sheeran. Dreamt that Glinios sold the club to a better owner, but I guess that doesn't matter anymore, says Paramvia. Jammy Dodger FC, says David. Above Crystal Palace, done that from James. Best player score today is a 6. There's a clue, says Stephen Banham. Well, Martinez will get man of the match, won't he? Surely he gets man of the match because he's won us the game. I know it deflected, but that basically makes him man of the match, surely. Some guy started a Football Manager save with a downloadable 0708 database. There's also a 9900 database. Great escapism. You might enjoy that. I would enjoy that, mate. That sounds good. Mainu and Collier first team midfield, beautiful, says Ardo. Mr. Dudar says our striker should learn to shoot from distance like Martinez. Come on, mate. I mean, I know this is an amazing community and there's a lot of football knowledge in here, but how is Xerxes meant to go and play centre-back and wait for the ball to come loose on the edge of the box? He can't shoot from there because he's got to be in the box. That's it. Malacia, if in doubt, just blast the shit out of the ball instead of running into space. Brilliant, mate. There's a future for you in League One. Why did he blast the ball then? We had a 2v2. He could have just dribbled it and played it into Ahmad's feet. Nobody near him. Something out of nothing, says Chris. The Great Escape, says Daniel. Jammy Bastards, that was from NAU. Sir Jim wearing gardening gloves in the stands, says Mankin LA. Anana's punt as the title, says James. Butcher the Clutcher, says Jewel. I might just go with Lucky. Title charge. We could just go with something like that, Harry. Yeah, we could. Oh, fucking hell. Maguire just getting there ahead of Anana. We're back. You've now got me thinking, do I just go for something like that just to sort of make a joke out of it? Title charge, or we're back. Where's the 7 and 8s players need to put some effort in? Disgusted, to Stephen. I think you make a good point, Stephen. I think the player ratings will display the performance. There's some people saying why. Oh, off the line. No goal. Fucking hell. Off the line from a corner. We're all talking about what? Well, that was a moment. Brilliant by Collier. It should have been. I thought it was 1-1. We're going to have to see GDS on that because I tell you what, some of the ball would have been over the line. Wow. I play back. I mean, to be honest, I'm a little... Fucking hell. Yeah. It's not over the line, look. You can see. Half over the line. I mean, it's crap defending. It's really bad defending. There's 3 United players there and they get absolutely bullied in the air. But Collier, that's why having a man... Fulham in crisis could do that as well. Collier to the rescue now. Can somebody just remind me? I know Rasmus had a really bad game, but can somebody just remind me how many chances Xerxes had since he came on for half an hour? I'm just counting them up. Because people were telling me that the problem is the striker. So we've changed the striker, and I want to know, how many chances Xerxes had. Because I know some people were saying when we bring Xerxes on, we're going to create loads of chances. So I've got it down, I'm just counting it up. I've got it down as 0 at the moment, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. You said to start Xerxes. There's nothing wrong with Xerxes, that's the problem. I'm saying the problem isn't Xerxes. The problem is it doesn't matter whether you hold the ball up or not, you get no service in this team. Breaking news, Toby Collier is now on the transfer list for Chelsea for 30 million before closing of the transfer window. Mid-table charge, says Michael. Toby Carvery, says John. Why doesn't Anana come for crosses, says Flash. I feel like it's the start of a joke. What's the line? Collier man of the match, says Adrian. Bedtime Butcher, says David. I'm going to the FCSB match. I hope you win, says Private. Sam the man says Fulham in crisis. 5 minutes added on here. I'd call it a butchered win, as in Martinez scoring but tired performance, as Irons J. Wait. I like that one. Right, I suppose I need to do the title here. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe. Nice to see a Man United win. I mean, most people would have predicted a loss. As we are Forrest Gump FC. You never know what you're going to get. I'm not surprised we've won, by the way. I think United are capable of anything. As I say, we're capable of beating anyone and we're capable of losing to anyone. Seven points behind Fulham today. 4 points behind them now. It's not over yet, though. It should be over with a back 5. Save that. I'd rather watch Last of the Summer Wine than this. There's just no drama, is there? There's no jeopardy. It's like, if we win, we're still 4 points off 10th. If we draw, Weird cross, deal with it. Anthony Robinson's got it. Nice little dink into the box, deal with it. Oh my Christ. Oh, bloody hell. Muniz, I thought he was going to score. Amorim masterclass as bounty hunter. To be fair, they've had 2 big chances. We've sort of got a bit lucky in the last few minutes here. Fulham have probably only got themselves to blame. They probably should have been a little bit more attacking. Nice cross by Anthony Robinson. Why are we not winning? I mean, Martinez didn't even jump. Why are we not? Why are Mainu and Martinez not even jumping for that? I'll tell you what, if that had gone in, I would have lost my shit at Martinez and Mainu there. 2-on-1, and neither of them bothered to bloody jump for it. Very lucky. Fair play Maguire running in to try and block the shot. Eden says, on the Collier save, Anana should come for it and dive for it. The owners will be dreaming who can they sell next, says Terence. Tiptoe through the cottage with a cleaver, says Ethan. Go on, Ahmad. Edge of the box. No, go for the corner flag now. 2 minutes still to go. Oh, bad pass. Bad pass. Well up, Yoro. Calm it down. Calm it down. Go on, Mainu. Slip him in. Slip him in. That's a ball. Ahmad. Back heel. Mainu. Cross it. Oh. Goal. 2-0. Game over. We're back. We're back, everybody. We're back. 2-0, Ahmad. Nice little bit of play. Oh, I tell you what, it's like watching prime Man United from the 90s. I tell you, people will be saying it was been a bad performance, but for me, this has been absolutely brilliant play from Manchester United, and people are going to start talking about, you know, all sorts of negativity, but I genuinely think with this type of football today, he might be offside. No, he won't be offside. We really genuinely could make a late play for the title. Took it well. Well done, Mainu. Like, actually, that's a 1-2 with Mainu and Ahmad, isn't it? It's a 2-3. Good little link-up play. They're looking at VAR. He might be off. I don't think he... Well, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. At best, it moves up a few minutes. What we saying, on or off? I think he's on. I don't really care. I've got a good Netflix series I'm watching. I want to do the match reaction, do the player ratings, and go and watch that. I think he's on. AJ, I didn't miss them. No, sorry, there's been quite a lot today. We are back. Liverpool, we are coming for you, says AD. Carry the team, Ahmad, says Joey. Butchered on Telemundo, says Steve. Fab says you missed my suit. Mate, there's been loads of them tonight. If I spend all the time reading them, I'll never read all of them. I've said this before. You know, there are other channels out there that don't read all the super chats anyway. I try to read every single one of them. So, offsides. Ah, unlucky. Would rather lose with even 1 or 2 periods of good play than win like this, says Alex. Interesting. I might use that in the match reaction. In fact, I will. I like that. Collier did that from Eden. I mean, Fulham are just having to... We're getting chances now because Fulham are having to try and attack, aren't they? But... here's Mainu. Definitely plays better in a more advanced role, doesn't he? Goal disallowed, yeah. Billy says, we're winning the league. You heard it here first. Alex says, 3 teenagers on the field. The future is bright. Who are the 3 teenagers? Yoro, Mainu. Collier's not a teenager. Collier's older than you think. He's 29. No, he's not. I think he's 20 or 21. That's a goal kick. Let it go. Let it go. Frozen. Who's the other teenager? Ahmad's not a teenager. Ahmad and Collier aren't teenagers. They're both in their early 20s now. Best since Fellaini, says Alan. Ahmad is playing like what we expected Rashford to play, like when we signed his new deal, says Alex. A lot of people glowing this performance up now. I'm loving it. I'm loving this. I'll have a pint of that. Title the match reaction, we're back, says Mimo. Spoiler alert. Final whistle! Manchester United have beaten Fulham 1-0 in what will probably go down as one of the Premier League's great games. They'll be playing this on DVDs at school. This is quintessential football. This is why the Premier League is the best league in the world, and this is why Manchester United will be inundated with shirt sales and new fans tonight. A fantastic win for Manchester United. Make sure you get over onto the match reaction, where we will be reacting to this match and giving the player ratings and talking about what wonders we've got to look forward to over the next few weeks. This team is heading somewhere. I just don't know where. I'll see you on the match reaction in a minute.